we know that, but certainly 6th place is in their sights. But it's all about today and getting 3 points, because all of that goes out the window otherwise.
Ross Joyce, the referee, kicking us off. Southend in their all yellow kit, playing from right to left, the goalkeeper all in grey. Halifax, the home team, all in blue, playing from left to right, the goalkeeper all in green. Dallas winning an early foul for Southend. 4 changes for the Blues from the midweek trip to Aldershot, with Boys dropping out, with Bridge coming in. First league game that Boys hasn't started this season. Sam Austin making his 50th appearance to come in, with Harry Cardwell and Andy Dallas leading the line, Pye Forson and Kendall dropping to the bench. So a 3-5-2 and Dengendy in goal, Taylor, Golding and Gubbins, Scott Morris the captain on the right, Bridge on the left, Mawson in midfield, Coker, who's lining up this free kick, and Austin in midfield with Dallas and Cardwell leading the line. Going this free kick about 10 yards from the touchline, hugging that right wing on the far side, and all the big options are in the penalty area. Yeah,
early opportunity for Blues. It was a good link up between Cardwell and Dallas. Dallas brings the free kick, Coker to play it in.
Coker, edge of the 6-yard box. Scott Morris climbing for the header, but Harris of Halifax wins it. As far as Austin, who'll head this back into the area, there was calls for offside from the Halifax players, but they are able to get the ball away. For Halifax, they make 2 changes from the side that drew 0-0 against Yeovil last Saturday. As Ndengendeed will chase this ball down, which came from the midfield, and clear it. Oh, he's giving it straight to Halifax though, in his out of position. Turner Cook wins it for Halifax, but back to Cody Johnson. Threaded forward into Cower, but Bridge trying to muscle him off the ball. Edge of the penalty area, he's turning and has managed to find space for Marmy. First time shot, and it's right of goal. Early intent from Halifax. I'll talk you through their team. Sam Johnson in goal, the captain. Palmer, Smith on Hobson. So Smith on the right, Smith in the middle, Hobson on the left of a back three. Hugel on the right, Crow on the left, City midfielder in Cody Johnson, and it looks like Turner Cook's joining him. Hamama in the attacking midfield role, Cower and Harris leading the line, Glenn, but a good chance for the Shaman.
Yeah, early counter-attack, wasn't it, from Halifax from Blues corner. They cleared it down the right-hand side, and Blues a bit of 6 and 7s actually defensively, and in the end the shot just goes wide of the goal, but just need to be careful. Obviously they've got to make sure, if they're sending all the big lads forward, that they've got to make sure that they're shutting up shop at the back.
Halifax knocking the ball about early doors. High down the left for Cower, but Taylor with a back flick to push it over the left wing on the far side of Halifax. Into Hobson. 118 appearances, 5 goals during his 3 years with Southend United. It's actually a substitute for Oldham Athletic in the playoff final win in Wembley in June, and then made the move at 20 miles from Oldham to Halifax over the summer. He'll look to push one straight down the middle for Will Harris to chase, but it's straight to Ndengendeed. The 2 danger men here, Glenn, Josh Hamami, Will Harris, 33 league goals between them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good return without a doubt, but we were speaking before we come on air, wasn't it, the fact that the return of Dallas and Gus Scott Morris is very, very good as well.
Coker for Southend with a high ball aimed at Cardwell. Might fall to him.
Don't turn off. We see that in the other game a few weeks ago. I remember talking about it, and Harry's turned off again now. The ball's gone over him, and he's kind of, well, that's gone. But it ricocheted off the player, and it nearly fell to him. He's just got to be alive to that.
Rumours emerged for Sam Austin. Edge of the final third into Harry Cardwell in the penalty area. Back flick into Bridge. He's left side of the penalty area. Played a cross in as man at the far post in Dallas. It's still alive. Scott Morris will try and get there first and push it back, but Hobson muscles him away and clears the ball. And the ball just almost fell kindly to the feet of Dallas, but he was balancing on that touchline and couldn't get the clean shot away.
Well, it was the original cross that came in. It was begging to be put in at the back post. It was a lovely little ball dink to the back post by Jack Bridge. And with Andy Dallas and Gus Scott Morris, who we've just been speaking about, the 2 top scorers for Blues, both converging on it. Neither of them could get a touch on it, and eventually that opportunity goes.
Gubbins with a high ball down the left wing for Sam Austin of Southend to chase, but Will Smith will ensure that goes out of play. Player who won the National League playoffs and FA Trophy double at Harrogate Town in 2020. That's a double Southend United are looking to do this season.
Yeah, be a good thing to emulate, wouldn't it?
Would indeed. Glenn and I sat in the East Stand at the Shea. So play continuing, as Golding was judged by the home fans to have dragged down Hamami edge of the centre circle. Everybody stood still, but the referee said no. But Glenn and I in the large East Stand, Southend fans in the West Stand on the far side. North Stand with large flags in it, and Halifax fans behind Johnson's goal to the south as well. Over 14,000 capacity for what there used to be an EFL ground. Right now, echoes of those times in West Yorkshire. Hobson with the throw. With 5 minutes in, no goals between Southend and Halifax. Cardwell trying to head into the field for Dallas to chase, but cleared away by Halifax. Straight to Scott Morris, who decides to work backwards to Golding. Goes to Gubbins, just inside his own half. Bridge in front of him, wearing his bright red boots. Finds a way to Sam Austin, but Cody Johnson on his heels. Austin able to turn and find Dallas in field, next to the rugby pitch markings at the 10-metre line. Cardwell out to Bridge. Southend just starting to get more comfortable on the ball. Bridge across to Coker outside the penalty area, room to shoot, right-footed. 1-0 Southend United. Give Ollie Coker room. He'll shoot and he'll score. First time on the road since December, and it was an absolute beauty into the bottom left corner. 6 minutes in, Halifax Town 0, Southend United 1.
Yeah, it was a well-worked move in the end, wasn't it? I mean, it was Jack Bridge originally picked up the ball and he bent the ball down the line to Sam Austin, and it was a difficult ball for Austin to deal with, but he dealt with it really, really well. He kept his body in between the defender and the ball. He made sure he protected it, found Andy Dallas in the central area, just inside of him, and Dallas worked the ball, got his head up. And it's a lovely ball to Ollie Coker. I thought his touch was a bit loose. I don't know what you thought. I thought it maybe took him too wide. But what it did, it opened up the angle even more for him. And it's a lovely strike across the face of the keeper into the far corner of the net to give Blues the lead. But yeah, lovely move from Blues and decent strike from Ollie Coker in the end to, as I say, give Blues the lead.
90 goals in all competitions for Southend United, and it was one where Southend purred in possession, probed patiently, and then powered into the bottom left corner thanks to Ollie Coker, the Southend youth player, to put the Blues 1-0 up against FC Halifax Town, and that will settle maybe a few nerves from the travelling contingent with Halifax's early possession.
Fourth goal for Ollie this season?
It is.
Yeah, fourth goal.
Opened his account against Altrincham at home in November, got the goal at Tamworth, ended up losing 2-1, got the third against Braintree, deflection along the way, and this is his fourth, and the best one he's taken this season. Yeah,
I mean, it was a decent strike, wasn't it? It was low along the ground, but as you say, I just thought that touch was a little bit heavy, because it would have kept, if it was a tighter touch, it would have kept him more central, but because it was a loose touch and he let it run away from him a little bit, it did inadvertently open up the angle nicely for him, and it still has to be executed, but it was a great strike in the end. Good start from Blues.
Very good start. And the 10th goal of the 73 they've scored in the league that have come from midfield. Southend at 19th in the table when you look at goals from midfield, whereas Halifax have the joint most, 30 of them coming from the midfield, majority from Josh Hamami, so that's big for Southend as well. It's big for confidence, it's big for getting people in the game, and as we've said, showing what they can do ahead of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, that needs to improve. You know, forget this season, that needs to improve next season, because it's been a number of seasons where Blues just haven't got enough goals from midfield, and that's going to be an important aspect if they're going to be successful.
Bridge driving down the left wing, but checks back, Hugel in front of him, but back to Morton. Again, Coker, so much space in the middle of the park. Turner Cook doesn't really know whether to come or go.
Well, they have changed their system, haven't they, to try and liken Blues up, but they are chasing shadows a little bit at the moment, Halifax.
Halifax were 4-2-3-1 against Yeovil Town. They've matched Southend to a 3-5-2 today. Dallas and Taylor for Southend. Taylor driving towards the middle of Shaman territory, poked out to Austin. He's got space to drive towards the penalty area, into Bridge, left side of the penalty area, but in front of him, and Will Hugel able to chase it, but his clearance blocked by Bridge.
I think we're talking about midfield players scoring. If I'm Sam Austin there, I'm thinking I'll get a strike here. I'm going to lend that ball, I'm going to give that ball to Harry Taylor's feet, and I'm going to get it back, and I'm going to bend that in the far corner. But unless you have that original thought and that picture in your mind, it's never going to happen. If you looked at Sam Austin, if we could replay that, all he's got a thought in his mind, and his head and his body language is facing Jack Bridge wide. I want to pass it to Jack Bridge. Try and go and do something yourself, make something happen.
Gubbins winning the header for Southend from the deep Halifax throw. Tried to find Dallas, his initial touch blocked by Palmer, but again Halifax gifting the ball back to Southend. on the edge of their own final third. Scott Morris and Coker behind. That's a brilliant triangle. Cardwell into Coker. Goes down on the far side. He'll say he was brought down by Dylan Crowe, but former under-19 England player. But a referee says no, just a slip. And now Halifax looks to counter through Hamami, but his long ball not met by Cower. Golding intercepting.
Should have whipped that ball in first time. Ollie's tried to check on it, hasn't he? And I think he half slipped as well. Thought he should have whipped it in first time.
Fourth time that the Halifax defence have given the ball to Southend from their own line, and it's moved quickly out to the left. Bridge infield for Cardwell to chase, but it's in front of him, and it's straight into the gloves of the keeper Sam Johnson. Yeah,
didn't mind that though. That's the sort of thing that I was hoping Sam Austin would do. What Jack was trying to do was just feed it into Cardwell's feet, who was coming in edge of the box, and he could have gone and joined it up. Unfortunately, Jack got the pass wrong and just mishit it a little bit, but it was a good idea from Jack Bridge. I'm pleased that Jack's playing. We haven't seen Jack a lot this season. Whenever he's played, he's done particularly well, and it's good for him to get a start, and I'm enjoying watching him play again.
Cody Johnson finds the way to Hamami, edge of the centre circle, out to Hobson, striding over the halfway line on the far side. Infield to Johnson with his long dark hair and his headband. Hamami's found space edge of the penalty area, tries to jink inside, but Taylor cutting out for Southend. So it's out to Crowe. Now Hobson. Halifax trying to put a squeeze on. 1-0 down against Southend United, live here on BBC Essex Sport. Warren Muggleton and Glenn Pennyfather live at the Shea. Turner Cook advancing in field. Now it's pushed to Johnson. Will Harris. First touch of the ball for him, hasn't had any in the penalty area yet, but we know how dangerous he is. First time cross from Johnson, but that will go straight to Ndangandi. Didn't really look when he made the cross, and it was high, and Ndangandi able to pick that out of the air.
Yeah, and in Johnson's defence, I think it kicked up a little bit as it come to. It was fed back to him. You could see he just wanted to whip the ball in on the cross first time to the far post. Just nicked up, and I think it could probably come off his ankle bone and skied quite high and straight into Collins' hands in the end.
Cody Johnson, a League 2 winner with Stockport County in 2024, one of 3 players to follow manager Adam Lakeland from Kings Lynn Town when he took over in the summer. Read a very interesting piece with him about how chaotic the start of the season was for Halifax, who came in 2 weeks to go to the season starting, had staff leaving, players that they didn't necessarily want, and they had to pull it together. So by their standards and what he describes as a bottom half budget, they've done well to be finishing where they are.
Yeah, well, we've witnessed that ourselves with Southend, haven't we? Difficult starts to seasons and problems, and we don't want to go over old ground, but we know how difficult it is for some clubs without a shadow of a doubt, and I think Southend people would sympathise with them.
Ball has found its way to Hamami, brilliantly threaded from Harris. Hamami in on goal, but a save by Ndangandi. Shot right-footed inside the 6-yard box, but it was straight at Ndangandi, bounced off his chest.
Was it his chest, or I thought it might have hit him on the head?
Although now Southend able to intercept through Scott Morris. Has to check back under the pressure of Crowe, but that's the first big moment for Halifax Town, and they can't take it. This is 14 minutes in. Halifax Town 0, Southend United 1, but Southend with possession. Scott Morris trying to lift for Cardwell, but too much on it. Bit of wind whipping around the Shea, but not enough to justify that pass going over the head of Cardwell.
Yeah, Hamami, made a lovely run from midfield. That we'd like to see a lot of Blues players in midfield do that, make that run forward, break the lines, and it was a lovely little. But I think Harry Taylor actually played him on. But it was a good save. Colin doing things that goalkeepers asked to do, stand up.
Found again by Johnson. Hamami into the middle of Southend territory, threaded forward to Cower, but it's well read by Harry Taylor, and the ball bobbles to Ndangandi. Just spotting here again, I mentioned Josh Hamami. When they're out of possession here, Halifax, it becomes a 3-4-3. He slots into that pocket where James Morton, if he's not sharp.
It's James Morton's responsibility. James Morton is a sitting midfield player for Blues. We know that. Hamami is the furthest player forward for Halifax. James Morton's got to deal with him. Once they're out of possession, he must deal with him. At the moment, the last couple of passages of play for Halifax, James Morton's been nowhere near Hamami.
Yeah, dangerous player, and that National League Player of the Month in December, scored 3 goals in 4 games. He scored 6 of his 12 league goals here at the Shea, and he made the step up from National League law with Kings Lynn this season. But Southend with possession. Golding, high ball from left to right, but over the head of Scott Morrison out of play, and the assistant on the far side, George Eaton, will flag for a throw-in. Near side assistant Adam Burgess.
Referee not. Oh, I thought he was going to tell him to use the other ball, but the ball boy was getting back because the Halifax defender had picked up a different ball, but no, he's okay with that. He just took it from the wrong position.
Dylan Crowe with the ball in hand. Short to Hamami, edge of the penalty area in line with. Ball finds its way to Will Harris. Back to Hamami, but Southend getting back into their shape quickly. Hamami spotted the space for Will Smith on the right wing, going over the halfway line. Halifax in possession, in close quarters to Kevin Mayer's technical area. Straight down the middle for Cody Johnson, but too much whip on the ball and it will fall to Southend's Joe Gubbins. Southend couldn't work from the back again as they did to get that first goal, but Gubbins gives it away. Hugel intercepting, space emerges for Jay Turner-Cook, shoots from outside the penalty area, but it's curled shot straight at Ndang Ndidi. It was aimed for the bottom left corner, Glenn, but Colin had read that well.
Yeah, just a little bit lax in the defending, but that's all come from Joe Gubbins. Joe Gubbins trying to thread a ball through that was never ever on. If you're in doubt as a centre half and you think, if I'm going to play that ball in there, I'm going to put my son under all sorts of pressure if it gets stolen, and that's exactly what happened, just turn them round, stick it in this channel. Dallas had gone on a run, he was going to be offside, but Sam Austin could have gone on a third man run. Harry Cardwell could have been the second striker in there, but don't play it short and get the ball stolen in your own half, and then you're susceptible to the counter attack. And again, Halifax picking out Turner Cook, wasn't it, on that occasion? He got his shot away, wasn't great, but nonetheless still put his side under pressure. Decision making, so important.
Cody Johnson high towards Hamami, controls it with his chest, over the top into the penalty area, aimed at Harris, but Southend's Golding intervening, a header back to Ndang Ndidi. And this is Halifax, Glenn, just starting to poke at the spaces around the Southend defence. There
are a lot of spaces because Blues have got to tighten up in terms of once they're out of possession, tracking people and dealing with people. But that Hamami, that original chance that Colin saved, has really given FC Halifax that incentive, hasn't it? Since that time, they've thought, hold up a minute, we're in this game. And they've been had one or two opportunities, but a lot of it's been manufactured by Blues themselves by not doing their work.
Before kick-off today, they only scored 6 less goals than Southend in one more game at 66, but have conceded 20 more, 60 to 40. Southend still the joint second best defence in the National League. In fact, if they get the 3 points, they even a draw.
Interesting.
Outright most National League points they've ever had.
Yeah, interesting to see Slavy Spazov up and warming up already, which is unusual. Just having a look at Harry Cardwell and Andy Dallas, making sure they're both okay and running freely.
Harry Cardwell hasn't started a game for Southend United since the trip to York City, where he scored the goal but then straight away pulled up with an injury, a calf injury that kept him out until this month.
Great goal, by the way.
Really good goal.
It's one of my favourites of the season, I think, that one.
Well, again, a team goal.
Yeah, it was. I like that one, but still my favourite at the moment is the Rochdale at home game. That was Andy Dallas, wasn't it?
Yeah, wonderful goal to witness that. Liquid football, I think the social media guys said.
Liquid football.
19 minutes in at the Shea. FC Halifax Town 0, Southend United 1. Ollie Coker with the goal after 7 minutes, but Halifax have had the opportunity to create chances. There only really one on goal, thanks to Josh Hamami. His shot straight at Ndang Ndidi. 14 clean sheets in all competitions for him this season. 4th most in the National League at 13. Andy Dallas giving the ball away. Hamami intercepting, and Johnson has found a way through to Will Harris, shooting outside the penalty area. And Halifax responds. Huge gaping spaces in the Southend defence. And Will Harris scores his 22nd goal of the season, confidently put past Ndang Ndidi into the bottom left corner first time, and we're all square after 20 minutes. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 1.
Yeah, I just think Blues have got a little bit sloppy. They've got one goal up early, and they're probably thinking, well, this is going to be another 3 points. And what they've done, they've come off the pedal a little bit. They're not marking properly. They're being sloppy in their open play. And it was Andy Dallas that's given the ball away 2 or 3 times. He's done it, but he's paid the ultimate price on that occasion. He's given it away cheaply on the halfway line. It's been transferred one pass into Will Harris. The important thing, you've heard me say it time and time again, the time you're most susceptible at the back is in when you're in possession, because you need to be organised, you need to be marked down, you need to be dealing with people. Blues weren't. They were ball watching, and they was in the throes of, we're going forward here, I'll join in. No, you need to deal with the players up front. Harris has pulled off the shoulder of Joe Gubbins as soon as Andy Dallas has given the ball away, and you have to say it's a smart finish, Warren. It's a great finish from Harris.
Well, Harris making the step up to the National League from National League North at Spennymoor Town, and has really enjoyed himself. As Southend look to respond straight away. Dallas infield to Jack Bridge in the penalty area, shooting right footed, couple of deflections. Scott Morris follows. Spilt. Cardwell tries to sneak in over the touchline. Goal kick. Almost an immediate response from Southend. Jack Bridge left side in the penalty area, right footed, not saved by Johnson. It was deflected away from him. Scott Morris trying to poke at the far post. Blocks off the line, Cardwell sneaking in, he pushed it over the touchline, and a goal kick. Glenn, Southend almost responds straight away.
Well, I mean, it's amazing when you step it up a couple of percent, isn't it? It's amazing what happens. You can see the problems they cause. And Andy Dallas, from the man who gave the ball away to give the goal to Halifax, has suddenly come alive there. Great little ball into Jack Bridge, and in the end, Blues should have got something out of it at the far post through Harry Cardwell and Gus Scott Morris, but unfortunately it just gets away from them. But you can see if Blues do play with that intensity, there's going to be opportunities here for them this afternoon. Maybe that's the wake-up call they needed.
The first goal that they've conceded since Good Friday. That was 4 games ago.
Yep.
The 3-2 win against Braintree Town. Went to Sutton, won 3-0, goalless against Solihull, and beats Aldershot 2-0. Colin Ndengendi, last time he had 4 consecutive clean sheets was August in the first 4 games of the season. Jack Bridge trying to get beyond Hugill, draws the foul, so free kick for Southend. 25 yards from the touchline, next to the left wing on this near side. Lovely feet, wasn't it, from Jack Bridge, just dropping his shoulder and going around the lad Hugill. Gradually, or eventually pulls him down, but super feet from Jack. So Morton to line up this free kick. Morton provided both assists in Southend's last visit here, the 2-0 win. Ben Peppel getting on the end of one, Crowther on the other. Morton from left to right, won't reach the penalty area as it spins away, but Golding will chase this to the right wing, edge of Halifax's final third. A little muddy patch amid the green grass. Coker into Dallas, he's right side of the penalty area, keeps hold of the ball and gives it to Golding. Infield to Scott Morris, one touch passing from Southend. We go back to Ollie Coker, and Southend decide backwards to go forwards. Room for Taylor to go over the halfway line. Into Sam Austin. And now Bridge, and Southend making an opportunity for themselves here. Austin wants the options. Coker forward to Dallas. Again, Palmer wins possession back for Halifax, and it's back to the goalkeeper, Glenn.
Yeah, it was the feed in actually from Ollie Coker that caused Andy Dallas the problems. He's coming off 100 miles. That's the ball you feed in, gently make Andy Dallas come and collect it, rather than wrapping it into his feet where he's already under pressure. Great ball from Jack
Ball
Bridge.
from Brad Bridge. It was just in front of Scott Morris and Dallas, but Coker will chase that out to the right wing. Wonderful placement on that. Coker into Scott Morris, back to Morton. Southend looking like they've woken up a bit. Scott Morris infield to Coker, but the interception from Cody Johnson. And now Turner Cook looks to get beyond Morton. He's late with the challenge. And Southend possession. The referee has blown now for the free kick midway through Halifax territory on the left wing on the far side.
Yeah, I think he seems to be quite reluctant to give a free kick, the referee, doesn't he? Quite likes the flow of the game, and he seemed to be reluctant to give that one. It was a free kick given away by James Morton on that far side, but certainly Blues have upped the intensity again, upped the tempo a little bit. They've conceded that goal, and they've now realised that, you know, it's not going to be a walk in the park. We've got to work to make sure we can take something out of this game.
Southend only 2 losses in their last 17 in all competitions, 15 in the league. Not gone 1 defeat in 13 in the league for 2 years. All square at the moment, 25 minutes in. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 1 here on BBC Essex Sports. This early kick-off. Colchester not too far away at Harrogate Town. Harris has lifted this for Hamami. Right to left, across the edge of the penalty area. Crow, first time aimed at Cower, but intercepted by Southend's Taylor. Forward to Coker, and now Morton. Wants the option, but struggling to find it. Finds Austin in the centre circle and gets it back. Out on the left wing to Jack Bridge. Wants to take on Hugel, but decides to go back to James Morton. Wants a run, sees one in Coker. Cardwell will head this into the penalty area, but Crow was back defending. And it's hooked away, but not out of play. Scott Morris can't keep it in, and it will be a throw-in for Halifax. Good to see Scott Morris on the pitch, wearing the captain's armband, 9th time. Bit of an unorthodox journey to get here though. Car broke down on the way to the team bus, so needed some help from National League Northside Bedford Town, who are on their way up to South Shields today in order to get to the overnight stop at the hotel.
Car needs some treatment. Yeah, it does, for the sounds of it.
Golding.
I think that might be a foul.
Nothing subtle about that, shoving the back to Will Harris.
To trample over a player to get to the ball.
Halifax play it quickly from left to right, but the pass from Smith lacks the accuracy into Hugel, and it will be a throw-in for Southend.
Strange old pass that one, wasn't it? I mean, he's not just misplaced it, he's wrapped it out of play.
Will Smith, 2 wins in 6 against Southend.
Referee just
second season.
Referee just having a word with Gus Scott Morris off the ball about smashing that ball away after it went out of play.
From the throw-in for Southend, headed away by Ashley Palmer, a winner of 2-time winner of the National League with Stockport County in 2022 and Chesterfield in 2024. He's showing his physicality in the middle of that 3-man defence. But Southend decides to go back to James Golding. And then Deng and D. Southend with possession. The Southend fans in the West Stand on the far side, a little bit quieter now than they were at the start of the game, but hoping they'll see them go through the lines again. Coker shifting away from the right wing to Morton in the centre circle. Wanted to play to Bridge, but has to go to Gubbins laterally.
Yeah, I think the wind's playing a bit of a part, Warren. It's quite a strong wind out there as well. Just watching that ball being held up.
Bridge into Austin, who had run from the middle but continued his run out to the left wing. Cody Johnson in front of him. Find a way to Dallas, edge of the penalty area. Has to work back to Golding. He might fancy a shot from distance, but decides to go to Scott Morris, and Halifax intercepts again. But Hamami can't control it. Dallas again gifting the ball away. Hamami forward to Cower, and now Halifax getting on the attack again. Cower, but beaten by Taylor, and Taylor seems to have Cower in his pocket in these early stages.
Well, it was a good last-ditch challenge from Harry Taylor. We've said that a few times over the seasons, and it was a 2-against-2 situation that Harry Taylor's dealt with. Just Blues giving the ball away again in the middle of the pitch.
Austin into Gubbins. 28 minutes played, 1-1 between the Shaman and the Blues in this National League game. Goodliff joining Miley, Spazoff and Kendall for an early warm-up, and Leon Parallon and Harry Boyes. Must be cold on that bench, Glenn.
Yeah, the whole contingent out now. They're all out having a warm-up. I wasn't sure that was allowed. Are they allowed to do that now? I thought it was just a certain number of players could be warming up at one time.
Not sure. Are they only allowed a certain amount of people standing in the technical area?
Yeah, well that's,
Scott Morris tries to lift for Taylor to chase down the right wing, but is straight to Hobson, and possession will fall to Cower. Inside Halifax's half, but Taylor steals the ball back. Lovely feet as well to get the ball in field to Coker. Really clever stuff. Cardwell tries to go round the corner to Scott Morris, but cut out by Turner Cook, and Halifax win possession back. Through the lines into Harris, first time to Hamami, but juggles the ball beyond Gubbins, and it's foot loose. Sam Austin can drive forwards. Dallas in the penalty area right side, taking on his man into the middle for Coker. Ball might still fall to Dallas. He's gone down in the penalty area under the challenge of Smith, and the referee has pointed to the penalty spot. He took a good few seconds to make that decision. Dallas edge of the 6-yard box, went down facing goal. Smith just behind him, and after a serious amount of time deliberating, referee Ross Joyce points to the penalty spots.
He did. I mean, it's unusual the amount of time. Normally it's quite a quick decision, but he has taken a couple of seconds, hasn't he? The referee's had a good look at it. I think Andy Dallas was very, very clever there, Warren. What he's done, he was never favourite for that ball, but what he's done, he's put his leg across the challenge coming in from the defender. He was never going to get there to deal with the ball, but he's put his leg across, and inadvertently the lad's taken the ball and Andy Dallas. The referee's had a good look at it. He's pointed to the spot, and Blues will take that all day long. They have been sloppy, especially in the final third when they've been playing the balls. They've given it away. Andy Dallas and Harry Cardwell have been giving the ball away when they've been trying to link up, but it was good work from Dallas on that occasion.
Dallas to take on Sam Johnson. The Halifax Town fans behind that goal. Dallas stepping up right footed down the middle, 2-1 to Southend United. Dallas confident as he strode up to place it down the middle, and Dallas with his 16th goal of the National League season, his first since the brace against Braintree Town, and Southend get themselves back in front again. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 2.
Yeah, good penalty, wasn't it? Dispatched well, important, under a little bit of pressure. It's a decent penalty from Andy Dallas. As I say, I thought he was really cute in winning the penalty for Blues, but it's certainly cheered up the Blues fans on that far side, back in full voice.
Only the second penalty that Southend have scored this season as well, Glenn.
Yeah.
By my count awarded, I want to say 5. I think the Boston United game, Sutton United, Altrincham, and then Boston away, which Dallas scored, and now today, which Dallas has scored. And that's actually the 4th penalty that referee Ross Joyce has given in a game involving Southend United. That's only the second one he's given for Southend, other 2 against. But it's all good for Southend with 15 minutes of this first half left, leading Halifax 2-1. Is that the kind of thing, Glenn, that has the danger of taking the wind out of the Halifax sails as well?
No, I think because they have nothing to play for, you know, the fact that they are playing with a little bit of freedom. Look, they're back into it straight away.
Dallas, the one giving possession away again. Smith striding from the defensive line out to Harris, will chase this to the right corner and keep it in just before the curved paint in this near wing. Hugill trying to make room for the cross, but Bridge with the block, and we have a corner kick for FC Halifax Town, our first corner kick of the game.
Yeah, I would have said if they wasn't getting any incentive when they're moving forward and getting opportunities, and I would have said, yeah, it probably would take the wind out of the sails, but because they are getting opportunities and they're having sights of Colin Nd's goal, then absolutely not. I think they'll still be going for it, and I think they'll still be causing Blues problems.
Jay Turner-Cook to take this corner kick left-footed from the right corner with his brown hair and his white and blue boots. Only crow not involved for Halifax, but it's straight to Ndeng Ndi. Interesting side story about Jay Turner-Cook. You don't hear this very often, Glenn. A player who spent time in both the Sunderland and Newcastle youth setups.
Wow.
Don't hear that very often.
Well, very often. That's the first time I've heard of it. So, definitely not very often.
His dad, John, former player, legendary Sunderland kitman, 1994 to 2020. Right now on the pitch wearing the blue of Halifax, Southend in yellow, and basking in the sunshine which has now poked its way through the grey clouds under the greenery of this West Yorkshire Valley in Halifax. Halifax trying to win possession back through Harris, trying to get beyond Cardwell and showing some silky feet to get beyond him and pull the ball back to Palmer, get some applause from the home fans.
See, again, that ball played into Harry Cardwell. Harry's got to do better than that, Warren. It's coming back off of him far too easy. He's a big, strong lad. He's got to make sure he protects that ball a lot better than he did on that occasion.
This is Ashley Palmer, the 33-year-old defender, the anchor in the 3-man defence. As Will Hugill mentioned his name a couple of times, former Burnley Academy man, joined from the Burnley Academy over the summer. He's appeared in every National League game for Halifax Town. Cody Johnson sweeping the ball to the left for Sean Hobson, the former Blues player. Cody Johnson in field to Hamami. I said it to you earlier, I've watched Sean Hobson's goal against Scunthorpe United in the 3-0 win a couple of years ago,
where his inner
Lionel Messi came out.
Yeah.
picks it up in the penalty area. First time backflip behind his left boot, brings 2 players out of the game. Infield, just beyond the keeper, and then there's an open goal to play into. Foul conceded by Joe Gubbins on the Halifax and Turner Cook. Glenn.
Yeah, it was a ball fed in. A really sharp ball actually fed into Turner Cook, and Gubbins has come from probably 10 yards away. He has given him a little nudge in the back, but it does give Halifax the opportunity, probably midway in the Southend United half, as central as it can be.
Well, Hamami standing over it. Smith, does he have that free kick in his locker?
It's a long way out for a wall, for a 3-man wall.
This is further out than Gus Scott Morris's free kick against Aldershot Town.
They're halfway in Blues half, aren't they? I mean, it's blimey. 2-man wall there. He's taken one out now. I thought, it was a fair distance for a 3-man.
Well, Hamami's considering it. Well, got 3 players on the left edge of the penalty area. Teed up for him by Turner Cook. Hobson climbs for it, does win it, the ball, but high in the penalty area, and Dallas able to clear away as far as Hamami, who delivered the set piece. Hugill back to Johnson. A few groans from the Halifax fans at the ball going backwards. Scott Morris wins the header. High down the wing. Taylor clears away again as far as Turner Cook. And his cross lacks the accuracy. That one looked like it was heading to Sunderland.
Yeah. Any clearance as well. Harry Taylor's cleared that ball straight to Turner Cook, who's then put the ball behind Colin Indy's goal. If he'd have lifted that a little bit more, Harry Cardwell was free as a bird. He would have had acres of space to run into in the Halifax half, and probably would have had a one-on-one with the keeper if he'd have got that ball over the top.
Goal kick has been played short, and James Golding has carried the ball away from the penalty area. 35 minutes. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 2. Gubbins driving from defence, infield to Dallas, who's very deep. Edge of the centre circle there, Glenn. But now Golding carries it forward. Bridge able to turn into Austin. He and Hugill go down in a heat on the left wing, and the referee decides it was a shove from the number 4 for Halifax and the number 7 of Southend. Free kick for Southend.
Well, I don't know why he's putting his arms out, Hugill, because he's blocked him off. I mean, Jack's played the ball inside, he's gone to run on the outside, and all he's done, Hugill, is he's stepped across his running line and bowled Jack over. I don't know why he's questioned the referee. It was an easy decision for the referee to make.
Referee having an argument with one of the technical staff in the Halifax bench. Now the 4th official, Thomas Wall, coming over to have a word as well. But play continuing, Southend moving the ball from left to right. Scott Morris into Coker, has to go back to Taylor, and manages to create the space into James Morton. Now what can Gubbins do? 16th consecutive league start for him, a first game against Halifax Town in 4 years. Actually featuring during his first loan spell with Southend in a 3-0 win at Roots Hall in April 2022. Unused substitute on the bench the last 3 games against Halifax. All of them win. Southend looking for the double, having beaten Halifax 3-0 in September. Of course, the game where it was really overshadowed by the injury to Noor Hussein has kept him out for the season, but we've seen videos, Glenn, of him running. Great
to see Noor back on the grass and with his boots on, and as you say, running as well. So I mean, that's fantastic news, and hopefully the recovery will continue well for Noor.
Exchange from Dallas into Austin, headed down the left wing for Bridge to chase, having come in field. He's managed to get away from Hugill, turning on goal, edge of the D, might fancy the shot himself, but Johnson makes the vital challenge and wins possession back for Halifax Town.
He did get nudged a couple of times in that run. I know he's trying to protect the ball, Jack, but did get a couple of nudges.
And now it's Halifax on the drive. Hugill wants to take on Gubbins, threaded into Harris, but Golding sneaking in between the man and the ball, carried over the touchline. Last touch off the Southend man, corner kick for Halifax.
Yeah, and that's what happens. Hugill didn't do his job on Jack Bridge. Jack Bridge eventually gets the ball stolen off him by, I think it was Turner. No, it was Johnson. It was Cody Johnson. He's got the ball stolen off him, but Hugill hasn't done his job. Where does he end up? In that space that Jack's vacated, because he hasn't done his job to start with. And then he's the one that causes the problems.
So another corner kick for Turner Cook to play in from the right wing. Front of expectant Halifax Town fans around us in this east stand. Plenty of bodies up for the home side. Turner Cook, the header's met and cleared off the line by Scott Morris. Instinctive from the Southend captain. Still alive for Halifax. Hugo edge of the penalty area. Plays the cross into the far post, but it's over the touchline and it will be out for a goal kick. I want to say it was Smith that made the header for Halifax. Coming from left to right, edge of the 6-yard box, and Dengendy wouldn't have reached it, but Scott Morris was next to the near upright in order to head it away.
Well, dare I say, good as a goal, because that would have been 2-2. It was a fantastic reaction from Gus Scott Morris. That's exactly why he's there in that near post position. The ball's come in. It's been a super header. It's goal bound. It's going to go in the back of the net until Gus Scott Morris intervenes, and it is a wonderful clearance off the goal line from Gus.
One other 12:30 kick-off to keep across. Brentford hosting Fulham in a West London derby in the Premier League. No goals at the GTEC Community Stadium. All of those scores on the BBC Sport website. Colchester United not far away from us at Harrogate Town. That'll be on all frequencies from 3 o'clock. We're also keeping across Isthmian North Action. Moulton and Tiptree could win the title as they host Galston. Southend with possession. They've worked it down the left wing. Bridge into Gubbins. Will play the first time cross. Dallas got the call to leave it, but Halifax able to sweep away. Hamami has to go back to his keeper Johnson, who'll send this high. Another game we're also going to get updates from later this afternoon. Great Wakerine Rovers against Little Oakley. Third versus first. A huge game in the Essex Senior League. We'll have updates, and of course we will be at Braintree Town against Rochdale in a game where the Iron could possibly hand the National League title to York City. All of that to come on BBC Essex Sport until 6 o'clock on radio, and also across our online channels as well. At BBC Essex Sport for all of those updates and reaction. James Golding into Andy Dallas. Across to James Morton. Wants the threaded ball into Sam Austin, but Bridges out on this left wing. Exchanges with his sitting midfielder and has to go back to Joe Gubbins. Said a couple of weeks ago, it's all down to us, just need to put in the performances. That was after the Solihull draw. You can listen to that interview on the club feed on BBC Sounds. Just search Southend United, you'll find all the interviews there. We'll have my post-match reaction from today as well. Ball found its way to Andy Dallas in the penalty area. Will he play it across to Cardwell? Yes, he will! Just like that, Southend moved the ball from one end of the pitch to the other, and the attacking duo find their mojo for Harry Cardwell to score his first goal since mid-January, and it gives Southend a 2-goal cushion as we head towards the closing stage of the first half. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 3.
So many good things to talk about with that movement. Harry Taylor's picked the ball up and he's driving forward with it. Now we see time and time again, I think we've criticised Blues for keep coming towards the ball. The front lads keep coming towards the ball and picking it up at their feet, turn and running behind them. They've seen Harry running forward with that ball. Both Andy Dallas and Harry Cardwell have got attracted to the ball and they've both spun in behind. Now that movement has allowed Harry Taylor to get his head up and go, do you know what? And he has threaded an absolutely fantastic ball in the run beyond everybody into Andy Dallas in that right hand channel. Dallas has burst clear of the defence. Cardwell has got the reward for making the run to start with because he's kept pace with Dallas. Dallas has made the right decision as he's drawn the goalkeeper. He's played it square, and Cardwell has bundled it into the back of the net to get, as you rightly say, his first goal for quite a while. Brilliant move, great movement from the two front lads, and a fantastic ball from Harry Taylor.
Mate, that's 17 of 51 games this season where Southend United have scored 3 or more goals in a game. Their National League tally up to 75 as they lead 3-1 at the Shea against FC Halifax Town.
Well, you know, the goal difference might well become important, Warren. It certainly will in terms of Forest Green Rovers if Blues can win that game in hand as well. But you never know with Scunthorpe either. So, you know, watch this space. As I say, it's all about today's game, getting this done. Still a lot of football to be played in this, remember.
Forest Green Rovers on the road at Hartlepool United, while Scunthorpe United travel to Wealdstone. Here comes Southend again. They will push for a fourth. Lovely flick between Austin and Dallas. Cardwell trying to play it into the on-run in number 9, but just cut out by Cody Johnson.
Yeah, it was lovely play as well from Andy Dallas. I mean, he has been a little bit sloppy in the first half, giving the ball away, but on that occasion, again, he's been involved in the penalty, involved in that goal as well with a great run. But his movement there, give and go with Sam Austin, give and go with Harry Cardwell. You have to give Cody Johnson some credit in the midfield for Halifax, because he tracked Dallas all the way, because if he hadn't, Dallas was going to be in behind. It was great movement from Andy Dallas, the little give and goes, but equally good work from Johnson.
A little look at the National League table on the BBC Sport website does show Southend, as it stands, leapfrogging Forest Green Rovers into 6th place. 7 goals better on goal difference. So we approach the last minute of normal time in this first half, so we won't get too much stoppage time. Southend leading Halifax 3-1 at the Shea. Sean Hobson for the Shaman. Out to Crow. First time, aimed towards the left side of the penalty area. Hamami's didn't quite keep the ball in. Nice idea from him, but didn't have any support. James Golding would have been there, and it does go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just overhit the pass, didn't he? The fullback for Halifax, and Hamami making another run in behind. Tried to keep the ball into play, but just couldn't manage it. But Blues have had problems dealing with Hamami, because he's a clever little player. He can see opportunity, he can see them little spaces, he knows when to cheat, and I don't mean cheating in terms of, you know, not doing the right thing. Good cheating. You know, he knows when it's going to break down. He's looking at possession and he just steals those yards.
Dallas putting the cross into the penalty area, but can't find Cardwell. Hobson getting there first for Halifax. Hamami bringing the ball under control into Turner Cook. Will be room for Crow down the left wing on the far side with 3 minutes of additional time in this first half. Now back to Hobson. Can Halifax throw something else at the Blues? Hobson's pass intercepted by Coker, and Austin is there first, and it's 4-on-4 for Southend. Now 5-on-4 as Bridge makes a long busting run down the left wing. He's into the penalty area, wants to play it for Cardwell. It will fall to Andy Dallas, but straight down the middle. Ollie Coker was begging for it on the right, but Dallas decided it was his moment to go for a brace, but it was straight down the middle and straight at Sam Johnson. Here come Halifax. They play it short, and there's room for Turner Cook to stride into gazelle-like over the halfway line. Hamami on his own outside the penalty area, left of the D, goes for the shot, but it's straight at Ndeng and D. 2 big moments, one for either side, Glenn, but both of them lacking the clinicalness.
Yeah, end to end, wasn't it? Andy Dallas, who made a fantastic decision for Cardwell's goal. It's difficult to be critical of a centre forward when they're in the penalty area and they've got an opportunity to finish. Unfortunately, he didn't finish correctly. It was the wrong technique, and he's passed it more or less straight into the goalkeeper's arms. But Ollie Coker was steaming up on the outside of him. He could have just rolled it into Coker's path, and Ollie Coker, I'm sure, would have been celebrating a brace of goals in this first half. But again, Blues, Jack Bridge, as you said, I think you said it, busting an absolute gut to get down this left-hand side to create the overload, and it was his ball that caused all the problems.
Still 3-1 then to Southend. Bridge into Scott Morris, who's run from the right wing, turns and shoots outside the penalty area, but can't get that to swing underneath the crossbar, and it will be a goal kick. But Southend showing real confidence, Glenn, going forwards.
Yeah, and no more so than Gus Scott Morris when in the sort of run he's on in terms of goal scoring.
I think I know what was behind that, though, because he knows Andy Dallas is level with him now on 16 goals.
Yeah, he'll be going all out, I'm sure, but he does that every game. It's nothing new, is it, for Gus?
30 National League goals between them this season, Dallas and Scott Morris. One of the strongest attacking duos in the league, alongside Hamami and Harris. 4th best, 33 league goals, 10 assists between them. As the seconds tick away, the 3 additional minutes in this first half, where we've had enough action to cover 90. Bridge shimmying away from Hugel like a ghost into the penalty area for Dallas. He's gone down in the area, but referee says no penalty from the challenger Cody Johnson. And now Halifax look to go over the halfway line. Space on this left wing for Hamami, but needs runners in front of him. Cower near side of the penalty area, but Golding on his shoulder for Southend. Howard does turn, and will he make room for the cross? Infield to Hugel, but It's a heavy pass and Morton intercepts, and there is the half-time whistle. It's a fantastic 4 goals that we've seen at the Shea, but the best news is that 3 of them have gone the way of Southend United, leading SC Halifax Town 3-1. The first after 7 minutes, an intricately worked move down the left wing, finding Ollie Coker in space outside the penalty area to drive into the bottom left corner. There was a response within 13 minutes, Will Harris showing why he's over 20 goals this season in the National League. A first-time drive past Ndengendi to end his clean sheet run. A penalty was then awarded for Southend with on the 30-minute mark, Dallas converting from the spot before a bundled effort from Harry Cardwell found its way in on 42 minutes. Glenn, lots of good from Southend, but Halifax certainly not out of this.
No, absolutely not, because Halifax are having a real go, and we wasn't quite sure which Halifax we'd get, but I think we've got quite a free-flowing Halifax, so they're always going to cause problems. They've got 1 or 2 really good players as well. Hamami obviously, and Turner Cook looks a decent player, and of course the lad up front, Will Harris, is getting all the goals. But Blues got that first goal, and I just thought, when it comes that early, when you're in this position, you think it's a dead rubber, you think it's going to be easy. But I think the equaliser from Halifax really woke Blues up. And I tell you what, if they do it correct, Warren, there's goals in this second half for Southend United. And I'm looking forward to the second period with more chances.
Glenn, thanks. We'll be back for the second half. Victoria Foley's waiting to hear from you. Well, who said this was the first dead rubber for Southend in 11 years? Half-time, Halifax Town 1, Southend United 3.
BBC Upload is your creative space to be seen and heard on the BBC. It's the best in new comedy, spoken word and poetry in Essex. On the show tonight, we meet the 2 actors taking on all 23 roles within the Shakespeare play Hamlet in 60 minutes. Plus, we meet the NHS dietitian turned author.
BBC Upload
with Rob Jelly.
Thursday and Saturday evenings from 6. Listen on BBC Sounds. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Essex.
BBC Essex Sport.
Just coming up to 21 minutes past 1, Victoria Polly with you on BBC Essex Sport. We're at half-time. It is Halifax 1, Southend United 3 in the National League. Round up all the scores for you, but let's drop in immediately to Edgbaston to check on Essex's performance at Warwickshire in the County Championship with Don Topley.
Yes, it's lunch here, Victoria, but the good news is Essex have bowled Warwickshire out for 190. It hasn't been easy this morning. Both teams, Warwickshire and Essex, have been patient, but the 3 wickets to fall was Parker. Akhtar got in for 22, Bamble was out for naught, and Gilchrist made 7, which left the stoic, dependable, responsible Sam Hain. He made 88 not out for Warwickshire in his team's total of 190, which was, well, it resembled a very great knock indeed for Warwickshire. The bowlers, Will Cook took the final wicket. He had 2 wickets. Porter had 4, 2 for the debutant Zaman Akhtar, and 2 for Snater, so shared around there for the seamers. It's been quite a good morning. Essex would have been happy with 190 all out, but it's all set for an interesting afternoon. Essex will now have to bat well. Warwickshire 190 all out.
Thank you very much, Dom. When they get back underway after lunch, commentary will continue on the BBC Sport website and app. It's been a difficult start to the season for Essex women and to today's game. They're taking on Warwickshire in the One Day Cup at Chelmsford, and they have been bowled out for 157. The only real highlights in terms of the batting was Grace Scrivens, the captain, making 59 at the top of the order. Cameos from Joe Gardner making 24 and Sophia Smale, who finished 28, not out, but they have been bowled out by a good Warwickshire side who are yet to start their 50 overs. We'll keep you up to date with that one here on BBC Essex Sport. Let me run you through the half-time scores from the early games in the Premier League. It's goalless between Brentford and Fulham. Later on, Women's World Cup qualifiers, England in action against Iceland in the 500th game for the Lionesses. Championship early kickoffs, Derby 1, Oxford United 0, Millwall 2, QPR 0, and Portsmouth against Leicester is goalless. Relegation battle there. Last night, Coventry confirmed promotion to the Premier League, and they will now be looking to secure the Championship title. League One early games goalless between Barnsley and Bradford, and Bolton and Huddersfield. Later on, Cardiff could be promoted today and Port Vale relegated. In League Two, it is Barrow 0, Walsall 2 and Swindon 2, Accrington 1. Bromley not in action today, but they'll be watching on those scores with interest to see if they can earn promotion. And later on, Colchester United's game at Harrogate could relegate their hosts. National League, you know about the early game. Halifax 1, Southend United 3. We will round up all the scores from across the county. We'll get round the grounds as well between the full-time whistle at the Shea and the game starting at 3 o'clock for Colchester United, which you'll be able to listen to on all frequencies here. We'll also have featured games in the Isthmian North. Malden and Tiptree could clinch the title today. And Essex Senior League, it's a battle at the top of the table between Great Wakering Rovers and Little Oakley, two of the sides gunning to finish top there. So we will build up to all of that from 3 or towards 3 o'clock, and then 5:30 for Braintree Town against Rochdale in the National League. But this week, #United won a third successive BBC Essex Women's Cup. They beat their reserve side, who had made it to the final 7-2 at Colchester United's Community Stadium. After the game, I spoke to the #United captain Flo Jackson about their win.
We like to make it interesting, we really do. When we went 1-0 down, I had no doubt that we were going to come back. We just needed to have a bit more composure in the final third, but I had no doubt in the girls at all.
They made you work really hard, the reserves, in the first half. They got that goal ahead, and then the penalty just before half-time maybe changed things.
Yeah, absolutely. It was nice to go in at half-time 2-1 up, absolutely. It made us feel a little bit more comfortable in the game. And I knew that once we were up, the goals were going to flood through, and it was going to be like that. And we've got some real good players. The reserves are quality as well, but we've got some really, really good players, and I knew that we were going to get the results today.
Yeah, there's some really exciting talent, not just those players who started the game, but the players you're able to bring off the bench as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this season, we're an 80% sort of net new team. I think we had 2 people that were left from last season, so rebuilding that in Tier 3 is so difficult. So we've done actually really, really well to gel as a group within sort of 6 months. That's really, really hard, unheard of. Normally people are like, oh, it's going to fall apart, people are going to leave, but we've really built a good team here, a good girl group, absolutely.
Yeah, and to rebuild in the way where you've got silverware, you're a point off confirming that Tier 3 status as well, in a tricky transition period, that's success.
Yeah, absolutely. The league's been really hard for us. There's some great quality in Tier 3 at the moment, but we've got a big game on 26th, and we're absolutely going to come out sort of guns blazing, and we're going to get the win, we're going to secure it, and then we're going to go into next season with a really good solid group where we've had a season behind us and we're going into that. What
does it say about #United as a club to have both the first team and the reserves all the way in the final?
I think it speaks volumes for a club in Essex to have an all #final. It's sort of unheard of to happen in a final, but I think it really shows the quality that we've got in the reserves and the first team, absolutely.
And how are you? Because it looked like you were in the wars a bit out there. It's limping at one point, head at the other.
I think I've got half an ankle and half a head left, honestly. I'm fine, but I'm definitely going to rest a little bit now. We don't have a game till 26, so it's about sort of recovery now and going for that.
And you've had so many injuries this season. Talking of that, you know, there's at least 3 girls with knee injuries in the braces who have been there celebrating with you. So this isn't just for the squad that have been involved in the games, but those who haven't been able to be a part of it.
Yeah, it tends to be sort of every season you've got one team that seems to do a lot of ACLs, and that was our team this year, and it's been really, really hard on the girls. We've obviously got 3-4 girls that have done their ACL, MCL, and really have got sort of long-term journeys ahead of them, but they're here today, they're celebrating with us, they're as much as in part of the team as the girls that won the pitch. Absolutely, it's a family club, and we feel very, very close and gelled, so it was good to have them here today.
That's Flo Jackson, captain of #United's women's first team. They won the BBC Essex Women's Cup on Thursday evening, beating the reserve side 7-2. You can hear that full interview and the interview with the reserves as well on BBC Sounds. Just search for BBC Essex Sport Clips. They made it tricky for them in the first half, the reserves going a goal up, but eventually the first team pulling away from them. Don't forget, that is where all of our interviews are available for you to listen to. If it's Colchester United or Southend United, at BBC Sounds, search for your club and you'll find the dedicated feed for all of our other interviews, BBC Essex Sport Clips. And you may wish to have that ready later on as we go through the programme today. Between now and 6, we'll bring you all the post-match reaction. But if you're out and about after the early kickoff, then you can always catch up there. And if you want to have your say on whatever is to come for Southend United in the second half and the full-time scoreline from that game, or later on, whether you're a Hughes fan or you're out and about watching some football elsewhere around Essex today, 81333 is the text number you need, 08000 321 333 on WhatsApp, and make sure you start those with the word Essex. You can also get involved in the conversation and find all the links to our interviews at BBC Essex Sport on X, and I'll make sure I have the emails open as well, essex.sport@bbc.co.uk, to get in touch with us that way. It's BBC Essex Sport, and it is coming up to 1:30.
BBC Essex Sport.
Good afternoon to you, Victoria Polly, on an extended BBC Essex Sport. Southend United at FC Halifax in the early kickoff, and so far at half-time, going well for Blues.
Bridge across to Coker outside the penalty area, room to shoot, right-footed, 1-0 Southend United! Give Ollie Coker room, he'll shoot and he'll score. First time on the road since December, and it was an absolute beauty into the bottom left corner. 6 minutes in, Halifax Town 0, Southend United 1. Andy Dallas giving the ball away, Hamami intercepting, and Johnson has found a way through to Will Harris shooting outside the penalty area, and Halifax respond. Huge gaping spaces in the Southend defence, and Will Harris scores his 22nd goal of the season, confidently put past Damien D into the bottom left corner first time, and we're all square after 20 minutes. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 1. Ball might still fall to Dallas. He's gone down in the penalty area, and the referee has pointed to the penalty spot. Dallas stepping up right-footed down the middle, 2-1 to Southend United. Dallas confident as he strode up to place it down the middle, and Southend get themselves back in front again. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 2. Ball found its way to Andy Dallas in the penalty area. Will he play it across to Cardwell? Yes, he will! Just like that, Southend moved the ball from one end of the pitch to the other, and the attacking duo find their mojo, and it gives Southend a 2-goal cushion as we head towards the closing stage of the first half. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 3.
Can Southend United continue in the second half and have their eyes set on climbing the National League table, those playoff places that they've got in their sights? Also looking to make it 7 unbeaten. Commentary on the way for you here on BBC Essex at all frequencies, and you can listen online as well. We'll continue to check in on the cricket lunch at the moment, but Essex have bowled Warwickshire out for 190. Sam Hain providing the resistance for the home side there, finishing 88 not out. So Essex needing to bat well, having bowled well at Edgbaston. Commentary will continue on the BBC Sport website, and at Essex women trying to defend a total of 157 in their one-day cup match at home to Warwickshire. In that one, Grace Skivens, the captain, top scoring with 59, but they have been bowled out for the figure of 157. So we'll continue to check on that for you. Build up to the games coming at 3 o'clock as well on BBC Essex Sport. But time to head back to the Shay for second half. Southend United leading Halifax by 3-1. Let's rejoin our commentary team, former Southend United midfielder Glenn Pennyfather, alongside BBC Essex's Warren Muggleton.
BBC Essex Sport.
Thank you, Victoria. Welcome back to the Shay, where the music's still pumping around the speakers. The substitutes are still out warming up. Southend fans on the far stand getting some half-time refreshments. Cloudy skies overhead in West Yorkshire. The sun has poked its way through before, but doesn't feel very early spring. Some big coats out, Glenn Pennyfather included. I didn't bring one. He's got the gloves as well. I know he's had a go at me before about wearing the gloves during the winter, but you got the gloves on today, Glenn.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it might be cold in the stands, but
every
Southend
eventuality.
red hot form.
Schoolboy era, no coat, no gloves.
But what did you need from me today? You needed a cough sweet, didn't you?
I did need a cough sweet, and you don't know what else I was pleased with, that you got the county right. That was always going to be. That's always a worry after you saying Aldershot was in Surrey. So that was good that you got the county right.
I wrote it in capital letters at the bottom of my notes. West Yorkshire. That's what we're going with.
Absolutely. Well,
it's been verified.
Absolutely. Well, coming back to the football though, it was a strange old half, wasn't it? Because effectively, Halifax had some really good chances. I mean, Collins made a great save, hasn't he? And it's difficult. Gus's header off the line as well. We've got to remember that. So effectively, but Blues had some really good chances as well to even extend their lead even further. Though it's going to be interesting to see how Kevin plays this in terms of maybe getting some minutes into Leon Parallon. Love to see Leon back out there. I mean, he's had the cameo the other evening at Aldershot, so it'd be good to see Leon back out there. Always good to watch him play and what he brings. He does bring something different to Blues, and I think he could well be important as the season comes to the climax. So looking forward to that. But Blues, I think, have got to tidy up. They've got to be a lot better and a lot neater, especially with their forward play, that link-up play. Andy Dallas and Harry Cardwell, they've both got on the score sheet this afternoon in that first half. But if you looked at their game overall, they've both given the ball away rather cheaply, and it's come back from far too often. The link-up play hasn't been great. So looking forward to that sharpening up in this second period.
Players out on the field. Referee Ross Joyce in his all-black kit, ready to get us started, assisted by Adam Burgess and George Eaton. Fourth official Thomas Wall, between Southend's Kevin Mayer and Halifax's Adam Lakeland as he blows his whistle. Halifax start all in blue, right to left, keeper all in green. Southend in there all yellow from left to right, goalkeeper all in grey. No changes for either side, and Degendy in goal for Southend. Taylor, Golding and Gubbins in the back three. Got Scott Morris the captain on the right, Bridge on the left, Morton in front of defence, Coker and Austin midfield, Dallas and Cardwell leading the line. Same setup for Halifax. Johnson the captain in goal, Palmer, Smith and Hobson in the back three. Hugel on the right, Crow on the left, Cody Johnson in front of the defence, Turner, Cook and Hamami in midfield, Harris and Cower leading the line. Southend looking to score 4 goals in a game for the first time since they hosted Morecambe in February. Coker's high ball down the right wing onto the head of Hobson, the former Southend United man. Halifax have to bring it to ground through Harris into Hamami. And Johnson will carry it over the halfway line in the centre circle. A few drums banging around that west stand. Glenn and I in the large east stand of the Shea. No one in the north bank. And Halifax fans now behind the Degendy's goal. And as Glenn says, chances are plenty for both sides, but Southend the more clinical when they've come along.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's probably, after that first period, managers and head coaches have their say at half-time and probably adjust things, and, chances might be at a premium in this second period. We'll have to wait and see.
Ball has been lifted by Smith down the right wing, but Gubbins will ensure that's out of play. Safety first with Cower on his shoulder, as Hugel will take the throw-in. The Halifax edge of Southend's final third. You're live on BBC Essex Sport with Warren Muggleton and former Blues midfielder Glenn Pennyfather. Hugel carrying the ball towards the touchline, and it will out for a goal kick. I thought there was a little handball from Jack Bridge unintentionally as the ball's spun around, but the last touch obviously of Hugel and a goal kick for Southend.
I think it had already gone out of play. I think he'd actually run the ball out of play, Hugel, and it was one of them. It was very close, but you have to say the assistant referee was bang on the money. He was there. He was eagle-eyed.
It was indeed. And Degendy teeing up the ball, the 22-year-old. It's amazing to think that with Colin. Over 50 clean sheets now for Southend, 181 appearances now, and he's still only 22. His kick goes straight down the middle, aimed at Dallas, but Palmer with the booming header forward for Halifax. Gubbins judged to have been too strong on sending Cower to ground, and a free kick for Halifax beyond the centre circle in Southend's half.
Yeah, again, back to, you've heard me speak about it before, Warren treating each ball on its merit. Joe Gubbins was never the favourite for the ball, so sometimes you just have to let the man win it, and you just treat it on its merits and you defend properly. Unfortunately, he's tried to come over the top of Cower, and he has committed a foul. I know Joe Gubbins was pleading his innocence, but it was a foul.
Halifax Town missing out on the playoffs for the first time in 3 seasons. Been knocked out in the eliminator both times, lost 4-0 to Oldham last season. The free kick from Turner Cook aimed at the far post. Gubbins winning the header. Hobson lifts it towards the goal line, but straight to Ndengendi, who had a loud voice to claim that ball as he rolls it towards James Morton, striding towards the left wing on the far side.
Yeah, it was both phases won by Halifax, wasn't it? That ball lifted to the far post. They won the first one, kept it alive, and Sean Hobson was the clear favourite for the second one, and he won it quite easily, but he just kind of dollied the ball up in the air, didn't he? And it was an easy take for Colin in the end.
So Gubbins and Golding exchanging passes. James Golding hasn't scored on the road in over a year, when he got that late equaliser at Hewish Park in the 2-2 draw against Yeovil.
Remember it well.
Great goal outside the penalty area, driven into the bottom left corner. Dallas round the corner to Coker. Surprising how I'm almost a bit surprised at how wide a position the 2 midfielders take. They're almost next to their wing backs, but Scott Morris trying to thread to Dallas, is giving it straight to Hobson. A little word afterwards with Crow. Seen Scott Morris bite back, but all smiles afterwards. Halifax carrying the ball forward through Hamami. Hobson continuing his run to the edge of Southend's final third, but a wall of yellow starting to surround him. He has got silky feet and is able to turn. He's showing it off. It's like we're back at Glanford Park, Glenn, 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was great work from Sean Hobson. Good to see him do that, trying to dance his way through Gus Scott Morris, Harry Taylor and Ollie Coker. Eventually takes the ball. Now, in answer to your question, the reason the midfield players fan out like that, that's the creation of space in the central area, so it allows Dallas or Cardwell to come short to get it, but it also opens up the space for James Morton, because if you've got the extra man in there and James Morton's not being dealt with, he can change play a lot easier. But what it also allows is your wing backs to get forward higher up the pitch. So if Ollie Coker's coming out here and the midfield player goes out, it allows Gus Scott Morris to go further up the pitch, higher up, which is where you want to see Gus Scott Morris and where you want to see Jack Bridge. So they're fanning out, because if players go with them, then Coker or Sam Austin can pick the ball. If they decide not to go, then you've got the option of Jack Bridge and Gus Scott Morris higher up the pitch. It's just the creation of space by the movement and opening the pitch up, making the pitch expansive when you're in possession. Of course, you want to make it as small as possible when you're out of possession.
And it shows an adaptability as well, this to Southend. It's something I haven't seen a lot of in recent games, and it is a big pitch as well at the Shea. It's worth noting. It feels huge, really.
It's an understanding as well of what to do, when to do, and how to do it. You know, as a midfield player, it's not just about when you're on the ball. It's when you're out of possession. What options can you give? How can you be advantageous to your team?
Sun shining now in West Yorkshire. Southend with possession. Scott Morris with a deep cross aimed at Cardwell. Halifax haven't cleared it away. It'll fall to Coker. 4-1 to Southend. And it was a gift from Halifax Town. Confusion at the back. But Ollie Coker pounced a drive first time into the bottom right corner to score his second goal of the game. And Southend are singing and dancing in that far stand as the technical area dances too. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 4.
Venomous strike from Ollie Coker. Predatory for a midfield player. That's the opportunity you see. I'm going to burst into the penalty. That might fall for me. But unless you take that chance and see that opportunity, never going to happen. And he's taken the chance. He's burst in the pair of terrible defending. But you're expecting that. You're anticipating that ball being played badly. And it has been played terribly by the Halifax defender. And he's left it so nicely for Ollie Coker to come on. I think it was probably just inside the penalty area. Wonderful strike with great, as I said, venom behind it, and the goalkeeper had absolutely no chance. It was the pure power of the shot that took it past him. And a brace for Ollie Coker. He's on a hat-trick.
On for a hat-trick. Ollie Coker's never got one of those before.
Another penalty?
Could be. 4-1 against Halifax Town though. First time scoring 4 goals since mid-February. First time scoring 4 goals on the road since the trip to Ebbsfleet United a year ago. And there was nothing held back from Ollie Coker. No. But Halifax, again, it just gifted it to them.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of shows probably that there is nothing on the game for them. Because it was very lackadaisical, wasn't it?
It was. And Southend will now have their sails full to the brim with confidence. Scott Morris. Again, that came from a deep Gus Scott Morris cross aimed at Cardwell, who had his back to Scott Morris. Taylor's won this, edge of the penalty area.
Blues are fancy
Austin
it now,
into
don't
Dallas.
They?
But he's lifted backwards to Scott Morris, who will keep this in. Gets it back from Coker. Southend just getting the bounce of the ball, everything going their way, but Dallas with a heavy touch, and it's over the touchline, and it will be a goal kick for Halifax Town.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of heavy touches. I mean, unfortunately, Andy Dallas, I mean, he's got a goal, he's got assist this afternoon. His overall play has been pretty poor, to be perfectly honest. I mean, his touch there again really heavy. It was a nice little ball lifted into him and down in that channel, but a heavy touch, and it goes out for a goal kick. But you know, it looks like now you get that fourth goal, and Ollie Coker has strode onto that, and it is a really good strike, very clean. But now as a player, you're thinking, I'll get on the score sheet here, and you can see that with the Blues players, the way they're investing people forward now as soon as they get the opportunity.
Halifax with possession, carrying the ball over the halfway line. Southend now on 93 goals in all competitions this season, and ample opportunity to turn that into the century with the games they have left. But Halifax into Turner Cook, room for Hamami running into the penalty area, first time shot with the right foot, well over the crossbar. He holds his hands to his head. At least there's something for Halifax to see going towards that south bank where all their fans are, but it's well wide of the mark, and it's still 4-1 to Southend.
Yeah, again, ball being given away. This time it was Harry Cardwell, so it's going in and it's coming back far too easy. You know, Harry Cardwell's poor touch didn't get his pass away, and that's when you present the opportunity at Halifax, because he's got options there, so people have disengaged from the people that they're actually dealing with. As soon as it breaks down, they're able to launch that quick attack, and an Army will be disappointed that he hasn't done better with that opportunity.
Fervent activity to our left down on the wing. The Southend substitutes getting themselves warm, sensing there's an opportunity for us here to impress as well and get amongst the action.
Yeah, I think they're probably talking about some changes, just looking at the bench just slightly to our right. Mark Bentley and Kevin Mayer in deep conversation. Mark Bentley busy scribbling away on his pad. Probably, I know they have to fill in a form, don't they, when they have to make changes. But you know, Harry's obviously you can see he needs games, he needs match sharpness, because he has looked a little bit rusty. I know he's got on the sheet this afternoon, but he has looked rusty.
Harry Taylor winning the ball for Southend. Little shove in the back from Will Harris out of frustration.
And you have to say that's understandable with Harry Cardwell. He hasn't had a lot of football past. Forget the injuries a minute. He hasn't had a lot of football this season. Kevin
Mayer, 241 games now for Southend as it stands, going for his 108th victory. On average, 44.4% win rate. This season, 54%. 28 now in 51 as it stands. Vast improvements across the board really for Southend that we've seen. Bridge might accelerate onto this loose ball for Halifax. There's a late challenge as well from Palmer, and the referee's going to reach to his pocket for the first time. The loose ball, edge of Halifax's final third, far side of the penalty area. Southend attacking from left to right, and again no communication from the Shaman. Bridge sprinting to get to the ball first. Palmer one step behind him and leaves a foot in as Bridge gets to the ball first. Well,
Ashley Palmer was odds-on favourite for that ball. Jack Bridge has come from nowhere. Ashley Palmer looked like he was running in treacle, and Jack Bridge has burst onto it. He sprinted to get the ball, and I think Jack has worked extremely hard this afternoon. We see him bust a gut in the first half, and he's busted a gut again on that occasion. Wins the foul, but I thought there was a foul earlier on than that when the fellow run straight into the back of Harry Cardwell. See the Teletubbies singing on the far side.
Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala and Poe, enjoying what they're seeing.
Fancy dress.
Have to find out what that was all about later on. Just in front of them, Jack Bridge teeing up this free kick in line with the edge of the penalty area on the far side, aimed towards the near post, but headed away by Smith. Austin controls it with the boot, sends it up into the air. Gubbins able to bring it to ground. Golding outside the penalty area, forward to Cardwell. He's able to turn outside the penalty area. Lovely flick from Scott Morris. Harry Cardwell through! Was saved from Johnson, no. Aim for the bottom right corner off the leg of Johnson after he committed and over the crossbar, and a corner kick for Southend.
Wrong technique. You get your head up. Get your head up. He's done brilliantly to play the little give and go to get himself free. He's bearing down on the goalkeeper. Just bend it in the corner, clip it over him. Use the other corner. The goal was gaping on the other side. Head down, drove it straight at the goalkeeper.
Coker to take this corner kick, right-footed from the right corner, swinging away from the touchline. And he sorts of away. Scott Morris on his own 5-1. It's a fantastic 5 for Southend United. And Gus Scott Morris gets in the goal scoring action again. He may have had a bumpy journey to get here, as his celebration shows driving the car, but he steered that ball into an open goal, and it's 5 for Southend, and they lead Halifax Town 5-1.
Yeah, well, it's turning into a rout now, isn't it? The Halifax Town players are having post-mortems. Gus Scott Morris had the freedom of the Halifax penalty area. It was probably between the penalty spot on the 6-yard line. The ball's been played in. There was nobody within, probably 4 or 5 yards of him. Nobody marking him. There was 2 or 3 Halifax players standing still, not moving. And Gus Scott Morris, all he had to do was make sure he connected enough on the ball, and it was a good header in the end. He's headed it downwards straight into the net to give Blues their 5th goals. We're going to see at least 3 Blues changes, and I'm delighted to see, I know Slavy and Cavs coming on. Delighted to see Leon Parallon coming on also.
Yeah, a lot of admin to come, so let's go through it. Will Hugill for Halifax Town, making his way off. Coming on, AJ Warburton, who started the game against Yeovil. Normally plays as a forward, but has been starting at right back recently. These changes coming on the 60-minute mark. Elsewhere, a change in defence with Will Smith making way for Owen Bray. That's a defender coming off for a midfielder, so we're likely to see a change in formation from the home side. Meanwhile, for Southend United, Harry Cardwell making way for Slavy Spazov. Could have got himself on the scoreboard a second time, but he has got his first goal since his return from injury, and he gets great applause from the Southend fans, Glenn.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that, because he should be finishing that. Good centre forward, a natural finisher, gets their head up and finishes that opportunity. But he's got a lot more minutes into Harry, and that's important, as obviously the season is moving towards the businesses side of things, so he'll be pleased to get minutes into Harry Cardwell without a doubt.
Second substitution has seen Gus Scott Morris make way for Leon Parallon, with Scott Morris making his way off the field. And a next change is a one that's been long in the waiting for Cav Miley. His first appearance since he picked up the knock to his thigh against Gateshead at the beginning of March. He comes on for James Morton, having made 150 appearances now for Southend United.
Yeah, I think the scoreline and the way things are going has clearly made up Kevin's mind, whether it was planned to give him this amount of minutes or maybe to leave it a little bit longer. But with the scoreline the way it is now, 5-1 for Blues, and obviously clearly the better side and really in the ascendancy. It's great to see Cav Miley back on the pitch, and of course Leon Parallon, and an opportunity for Slavy as well.
Would you like to know the last time Southend United won a game 5-1 on the road, Glenn?
Go on.
Against Halifax Town in October 1980 in Division 4.
Did I score?
Oh, I'll have to have a look through the archive for that one. 1980, a bit early.
Yeah. No, it's not early. I was playing then, but I don't. No, that was the championship year.
Southend on course for their 30th win against Halifax Town in their history in 56 games. Of course, this is when Halifax Town were known as Halifax Town AFC. Sadly went into administration in 2007. Now on possession now, Hamami into Bray, right side of the penalty area. Has to work it backwards to another of the substitutes, Warburton. Now Johnson plays a cross into the area. Harris wins the header inside the penalty area, but it can't guide it towards goal. Cower, who's changed position, out on this left wing. Into Crow. Now Cower, the former Aveley man, gets it back. A whipper ball into the middle onto the header, James Golding. Ball will bounce for Spazov. Oh, it's actually worked back. Harris has lifted this over, and Dengendy deftly, but the offside flag goes up on the far side. It's a shame really for the young man, Glenn. It was a really clever goal, but it won't count, and it will be a restart for Southend.
What a good finish that was. I mean, he had his back to goal, and he still had to lift it over Colin. It was a great finish. He was offside, but just a little bit of housekeeping that Sam Austin has now gone to right wing back.
We're looking at Halifax Town. They look like they've gone back to a 4-2-3-1 as well, with Harris leading the line, Bray on the right, Cower on the left, Hamami in midfield, Turner Cook and Cody Johnson sitting in front of defence, with Warburton at right back, Palmer and Hobson in the middle, and Crow at left back.
Yeah, Will Harris just having a little kick at James Golding there. Did you see that?
Yes.
As Golding just spun and moved away from him.
So Dallas and Spazov leading the line for Southend. As Glenn says, Austin on the right wing. Still Coker in midfield alongside Leon Parallon now. Cav Miley sitting in front of the defence. Bridge still on the left. Still a back three of Taylor, Golding and Gubbins. And Dengendy still between the sticks. 5-1 to Southend United.
Yeah, great voice, the Blues fans on the far side. All the noise coming from there.
Certainly enjoying themselves. We will get team news shortly from Wetherby Road, home of Harrogate Town, ahead of their game against Colchester United.
Yep.
That League 2 game. Just waiting for a wandering Neil Kelly to make his way back to his position. But he will be back. And don't forget, we're getting updates from Maldon and Tiptree against Gorleston. Could secure the title today. If they get a win and Felixstowe Walton United don't. And then a first versus third clash at Burrows Road between Great Wakering Rovers and Little Oakley. We'll get updates from there as well. Plus Braintree Town taking on Rochdale in what is a crucial day in the National League title race. Hosting Rochdale, 2 points behind York City, who themselves also kick off at 5:30 against Yeovil Town. And we'll have updates, we'll have reaction to that one on our social media channel at BBC Essex Sport. Glenn.
Sorry, terrible throw from Sam Austin. Harry Taylor had just worked his socks off to... Has he kept that in? Yeah,
he has.
That should be Collins. Yeah, it's a foul.
Oh, he hasn't got it though. Brave has an open goal, but there's a foul conceded. No, there isn't. And Dengendy argues with the referee.
He is. No, he's given the foul.
Oh, he has.
He's given the foul.
It was only me and Colin who hadn't heard the blow the referee.
He blew and he gave the foul. It was a clear foul. I mean, he's just barged into him. But just watching it, Harry Taylor has worked his socks off to get the ball. He's on the floor. He's floundering. He's toe poked the ball away. It's gone out for a throw-in for Blues. Sam Austin's picked it up and thrown it straight back at him. And he's trying to get a breather. He's trying to get some oxygen back in his lungs, poor Harry Taylor. And in the end, he miscues the ball and it goes straight out for a throw-in. Try and see that, you need to slow the game down there or make a better decision with the throw-in.
And Dengendy with his free kick. We've got 65 minutes played. Halifax Town 1, Southend United 5. Coker winning it back. He gets it back from Spazov. Bridge and Parallon combined down the left wing. He'll chase the ball towards the left corner. Cody Johnson in front of him. Parallon able to turn, a little bit exposed, but gets the back heel into Jack Bridge. That's brilliant from Parallon. Jack Bridge in the area. He plays it back into Ollie Coker on a hat trick, but he just puts the ball out of reach and it's cleared away by Halifax Town. Miley makes the ball back, but a late challenge now from Jay Turner-Cook, and the referee reaches to his pocket again, and a word's been said. James Golding's heard it. He's barreled in against Hamami, and Golding's not happy about something, Glenn. Miley staying down. Remember, he's coming back from a thigh injury today. And a yellow card for Jay Turner-Cook.
Yeah, I mean, you get that reaction, don't you? The red mist comes down a little bit because you're protecting your player, your mate, and Cav has just come back from an injury. I thought Cav kind of ambled onto it, to be perfectly honest. Cook was coming at full speed, and I think Cav always knew he was favourite for the ball, but it was a poor challenge from Turner-Cook. Thankfully, Cav's on his feet, but you can understand it. He's just come back from an injury. Last thing you want to see is your mate get injured again, as James Golding picks up a yellow card for his protest to the referee, and obviously confronting one of the Halifax players.
Third yellow card during Golding's loan spell from Oxford United, only the 73rd in the league that Southend have picked up as well. Short free kick from Coker midway through Halifax territory down the right wing. Lifted towards Austin, hits the header from Crow. Dallas forward, says Parallon, he's in the penalty area, tries to poke it forward. Few calls for a handball from Southend on the far side, but it is cleared away. Intricate space that Dallas and Parallon were working in, but still managed to find a way to go forwards.
I don't think limited space bothers Leon Parallon. He's got such quick feet, he keeps it so tight, and he's got a box full of tricks as well, hasn't he?
Heard an attendance called 1,865. Unfortunately, the microphone was a bit muffled when it came to the away support, so we'll try and get that figure for you as soon as we can. Throw in for Southend. And Halifax have just shrunk into themselves, Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, you're 5-1 down, nothing to play for. You've got your holiday booked, you're just waiting for the season to end, aren't you? That's the thing, what happens when you've got nothing to play for. Generally you start off, I thought they did, and they played with a little bit of freedom, but but Blues have completely killed that off in this second half with those goals, and I think there's more goals for Blues if they do it correctly.
Southend attacking through. Slavi Spazov driving towards the penalty area, forward to Dallas on the turn, might tee it up for Coker, no, plays it across the penalty area, turns onto his right boot, it's still alive, now Coker to shoot, but straight down the middle, and it's straight into the grasp of Sam Johnson. Let's pop over now to Wetherby Road. Colchester United taking on Harrogate Town in League 2 with the latest team news. BBC Essex's Neil Kelly.
Yeah, we're in Yorkshire as well. Just one change to the Colchester United lineup. Ellis Iandolo returning at left back. Kane Vincent Young missing out. Macy's the keeper. Hunt right back. Tucken Terry in the middle. Reid and Barbrook in centre midfield. Anderson, Payne and Edwards further forward. Goodwin leads the attack. And good news on the bench, Warren, with the return of skipper Tom Flanagan.
Great to hear that. Full commentary to come on all frequencies as Colchester United take on Harrogate Town, looking to continue their winning ways in the fourth tier of English football. Just to confirm, 571 travelling Southend United fans to the Shea to make up the 1,896 that are in attendance today. Glenn Pennyfather, they've got their values worth for their money.
It's incredible support, and quite right, they have got their value at the moment with goals, and hopefully there'll be one or two more still to come, but an absolute incredible effort. 571 fans when this game, obviously they've got Hartlepool on Tuesday evening, which we'll have full commentary on. As we know, we've got that long journey to come, plus the away game in the eliminator and the FA Trophy final. It's all expense, Warren. You have to take your hat off to people. Unbelievable support for Blues.
Absolutely wonderful. We want to hear from you as well. Maybe you've made the journey on your way back and you want to get in touch with the show. 81333 on text, 080032133 on WhatsApp. Start with the word Essex. Plus Glenn Pennyfather will have the fans football phone in for you every Friday during the football season. 0800 111 4041. Plenty of talk this week about the Colchester United takeover, but excitement will be building among the Blues fans with those playoffs, FA Trophy final to come. 30,000 tickets now allocated. Just to put that into context for you, for non-league day at Wembley Stadium, Halifax won the FA Trophy in 2023, beat Gateshead 1-0. The total crowd, 27,374. Southend could beat that on their own.
Yeah, mate, it doesn't surprise you though, does it? It's incredible. I mean, we see that in the playoff final last year, didn't we? The number than Blues would have sold if they wasn't limited with the ticket allocation because of the problems with the transport. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be a wonderful occasion, I'm sure.
20 minutes of normal time left. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 5 on BBC Essex Sport. We'll have reaction from Kevin Mayer and from a player. I suspect it might be Ollie Coker. Who knows, could still get a hat-trick for Southend United.
Well, he's had one opportunity, isn't he? That strike just probably a couple of minutes ago that was...
I think Dallas should have gifted it to him as well, into the penalty area.
Yeah, straight down the keeper's throat on that occasion. But I think, you know, if he stays on the pitch, and as I say, if Blues keep doing it right, they keep this tempo and this intensity up, there will be other opportunities.
Through to Crow, down the left wing for Halifax. In front of what is looking like a despondent South stand with those standing fans for Halifax. Taylor now shoving Crow over as he was on top of the ball. He has managed to draw the foul from Southend, so it's a free kick for Halifax, but it's about a yard from the left corner on this near side, so it will basically be treated like a corner kick.
And Harry Taylor giving the crowd behind the goal some as well. He's obviously getting a little bit of stick there. Quite surprised. I don't know what Harry was actually doing, because the lad had fallen on the ball and then Harry was still pushing him in the back. I think, you know, he would have probably got a drop ball out of it, but he's given the referee the opportunity to give him a free kick. Dangerous position, more of a corner just outside the quadrant.
Turner Cook, left footed, aimed towards the far post. There's a header which is there from Palmer, but it's wide of the goal. Beg your pardon, Hamami again, with the header.
Yeah,
he's been the liveliest player for Halifax today, and has been the player that's created the most for them.
I'll tell you what, they've got some good players, Halifax. You know, it doesn't surprise you that they're always knocking on the door. As you say, it's the first year out of the last four that they've missed out on the playoffs. They've never stepped the playoffs alight, but they've certainly been involved in them. And, you know, you look at Kwame and the lad Turner Cook looks a real good player as well.
A player that joined from the Newcastle Academy. Cody Johnson was from Stockport, and Ashley Palmer's on loan from York City.
Yeah, and of course, let's not
It's
forget...
a mixture of sort of experience in the EFL with players coming from the lower division.
Yeah, let's not forget the lad up front, Will Harris, who's got a good goal-scoring record as well.
I think Halifax will be hoping they can keep hold of him, and probably Hamami as well, for their impact. But I think that's probably been the problem for them. When those two have been kept quiet, that's when they've struggled.
Yep.
Of course, they could have been very different a couple of weeks ago. They had a 2-2 draw against Tamworth here and were awarded a late penalty, but it was saved. The attempt.
They've been on a particularly poor. I think they've only won 1 in the last 5, haven't they, Halifax?
That's right.
Which is
they haven't had a run of 1 win in 6 since February.
Yeah, those sorts of runs kill your season, especially when you're going for sort of the playoffs.
Coker's managed to win the ball from Turner Cook. It's loose. Dallas onto it in the penalty area, right side. Wants to cut inside himself. And it's taken off his boot by Turner Cook, and Hobson able to sneak in. Harris attempting to get the flick onto the on-running Hobson, but cut out by Southend. Austin gives it to Parallon. Coker in the middle of Halifax territory. Cuts the ball away from Bray before pushing it out to the left. Bridge. It's been a live wire throughout this game as well. Infield to Coker. That was the combination that set up the first goal, but Coker decides to push it out to the right for Sam Austin. Tries to dig out the cross, but put his head down and didn't realise how close Crow was to him. It is a throw-in for Southend, though.
Yeah, it was good defended by Crow. Like I say, if you can't get actual pressure on the ball and get the lad's head down, you make sure you get in line of that, get into the crossing line and make sure he can't get that ball wrapped round you. And he did just that, and it was good defending in the end.
Austin with this throw. Southend singing as if the sun is shining brightly in West Yorkshire, but grey clouds still rolling overhead. Certainly looming on Halifax in their last home game of the season before they travel to Woking next Saturday. Southend with the trip to Hartlepool United on Tuesday. Glenn and I will be there before Wealdstone, Southend's FA Trophy final opponents, travel to Roots Hall on the last Saturday of the regular season, 25th of April. A little teaser of what that FA Trophy final will look like. Austin pushing the ball out to the left, but it's not accurate into Jack Bridge, and it will go out for a throw-in.
And it was such good movement as well. The ball, Golding's come out with the ball, he's wrapped it into Dallas's feet. Dallas, little deft touch of Sam Austin coming off the line, coming across the face of him. He's taken the ball, and all he needed to do was execute the pass from right to left out to Jack Bridge, and completely miscued it. It goes out for a throw-in.
Halifax 1, Southend 5 here on BBC Essex Sport. On air until 6 o'clock. Plenty more live sport to come, so make sure you stay with us. Miley, good to see that he's been able to walk away from that challenge. A little flick round the back from Spazoff into Dallas, but ball just eludes him, and Hobson able to intervene for Halifax. Hamami and Cody Johnson exchange passes. So we're going to see a change from Halifax soon as well. Billy Waters called up. Hamami just juggling with the ball on the left wing on this near side with Southend's Austin in close quarters. Hamami creating space, shoots from distance but straight down the middle. Lacked any real conviction, and Ndengendi able to gobble that one up. Only the second shot, Glenn, for Halifax in this second half compared to the 6 they had in the first.
Yeah, same man again, isn't it? Hamami causing Blues problems, just a little give and go, but he's got a good turn of pace as well. He just drops his shoulder and went past 1 or 2 Blues players, opened up his body to get the strike in, but straight at Colin on this occasion. But he certainly does look a decent player, Hamami.
Halifax with possession. Just wanted to give a shout out to fan Nathan Smith, who I know is a very regular listener to BBC Essex. A friend of his got in touch with me saying how much he enjoys listening to the show and the commentaries of Southend United, and we're always grateful to all the fans that listen along here on BBC Essex Sport. 95.3 FM and 103.5 FM, Freeview 716, DAB and Southend on the BBC Sport website. Plenty of different ways to get in touch with us as well, on text, WhatsApp, email, over the phone, and on social media at BBC Essex Sport on X. Always love to hear from you, as I know Glenn does as well on a Friday night with that fan football phone. And of course Sport Extra coming up on Monday as well. Plenty on the BBC Sport website as well. Read the latest on Coventry City and their promotion to the Premier League. Bournemouth in their search for a new manager. Of course, coverage of a big weekend in the Premier League. Man City against Arsenal tomorrow, 4:30 on 5 Live. And updates on the BBC Sport website as well. Victoria Polly will have all the scores today as well for you here on BBC Essex Sport. Halifax have worked this down the right wing. Braid drills a ball into the penalty area, but Golding able to hook that ball away. Bridge has poked this forward to Leon Parallon. Picked it up midway through Southend territory. Options right and left. Decides to go right to Dallas. He's picked it up. Taking on Crow. Gets an overlapping run from Ollie Coker into the penalty area. Has to check back outside of that area. Dallas works it, tries to drill in across, but Turner Cook pushes that over the touchline and it will be a corner kick. Walks away from the ball a bit dejected, as Southend will hope that there's another opportunity here.
Yeah, when you're on a counter-attack, you need somebody that can carry the ball at pace, and Parallon is that man. He can carry the ball at pace and then have the composure to get a decent pass away, and he did just that to free Andy Dallas on this right-hand side. Coker's burst the gut to try and get beyond him, and he has, and he unfortunately just couldn't collect the ball in his running pattern, so he could burst past the player, and eventually it gets blocked out for the corner as Blues go short with it.
Yeah, Parallon and Coker combining. The midfielder returning from an ankle injury. Parallon through the legs of Cody Johnson. Austin in close quarters as well. Now Bridge, the midfielders showing what they can do for Southend United. Bridge back flick into Austin. Room to put in a cross, but hesitated. Back into Bridge, who's on the right side of the penalty area on this near side. Hobson, his former teammate, in front of him. Austin in field, wearing his blue boots. Bridge has found a way to Parallon, edge of the penalty area, back to goal. It's patient from Southend again. Dallas with it in the penalty area, has to carry it out. And Austin behind him. Southend on the edge of their seats expectantly on the far side as the ball goes out of play. It is a throw-in for Halifax, who will ring in 3 changes. The first of them, Adam Aditoro, make way for Sean Hobson. It's nice to see a former Blues player out there. Glenn found himself frustrated. He did get a chance to show off his silky feet there at one point in the second half.
Yeah, a lovely lad as well, Sean Hobson. He decided to make the move from Blues, didn't he? And as you say, he was at Oldham last season. Made his way to Halifax, and he's
exchange.
A round of applause as well from the Blues fans.
Next change, David Cower, who joined from Aveley, making way for Billy Waters, 2-time National League winner at Cheltenham and Wrexham. And the other change is the left wing back, Dylan Crow, making way for Kieran Morris, a like-for-like change.
Yeah, lots of changes going on. See if it makes any difference to Halifax.
Halifax 1, Southend United 5. 10 minutes of normal time to go. Southend looking to push up the table at that goal difference, Glenn. You mentioned it before.
Yeah.
It is absolutely vital because it's so close between them, and mathematically still in the hunt to chase down Boreham Wood if they were to lose today as well, but keeping their eye on that 5th place which Scunthorpe currently occupy.
Yep. All Blues can do is control the controllables, as they say. Just win your games, and they're doing that this afternoon. They move on to Hartlepool Tuesday.
Turner Cook tries to push a ball into the penalty area. Bray will find a way through those Southend lines, but intercepted by Taylor. Coker tries to tee up, but Waters sneaking in, temporarily wins the ball back for Halifax, but Southend do get it. Hamami with a less than subtle shirt pull on Harry Taylor outside the penalty area, and Southend will restart.
But he's done well to get away with the yellow card. Not getting a yellow card for that, because it's normally mandatory for something like that, isn't it? And the referees just waved it away. Yeah. Do the referees think like that? It's the end of the season. Are the referees on the beach? Oh, you never know.
Ross Joyce, 35 games for him in all competitions. 114 yellow cards before today, 117 now. No red cards, would you believe?
It took him a while, Warren, didn't it? To brandish a yellow card this afternoon. It took him a while actually to give a free kick, if you remember, in the early stages.
I do remember. It took him a while to give the penalty as well.
Well, yeah.
Felt like a year had passed before.
He was just making sure in his mind it wasn't going to cause him too much admin.
Miley trying to put off Hamami, but he's able to get in field to Morris. Ben Goodliff will be the next man to come on for Southend United. You wonder who will come off, because James Golding has been had nursed the ankle injury against Solihull Moors, but has played really confidently today. Joe Gubbins hasn't really put a foot wrong.
No, I can't see. I think he's got to be James Golding.
Unless we see a shape change and maybe Sam Austin comes off and you get two central defenders in Golding and Goodliff.
Do you want 50p? It's going to be James Golding.
No, I'm not going to wager those high stakes against you, Glenn.
All I can afford.
Cocos trying to lift it to the left wing. Will bounce through to Bridge. And that was a handball. It was awkward for Morris. It was just dipped underneath his left arm and caught him. Here comes the substitution now for Southend. And it is a light for light.
You owe me?
I do. I'm sure I can dig that out somewhere, Glenn. 84 minutes played. James Golding making way for Ben Goodliff. And bar that moment where Will Harris, who is a striker in form and with confidence, Southend defence have really kept Halifax at bay.
Yeah, I mean the goal itself, was at a time when there was a particular passage of play where Blues have gone very lax with their marking, lax with their organisation. They paid the price, but I do believe that goal that Halifax scored, and it was a good finish by Harris, really woke Blues up. A blessing in disguise.
Indeed. 6 minutes of normal time left here at the Shea. Colin Ndengendi with the ball at his feet. He'll be frustrated not to be taking a clean sheet home in this performance, but still, Southend ahead, and Leon Parallon picking up the ball in the penalty area ahead of Cody Johnson. It's still in as well. He's moving along the line, takes it beyond the keeper, wants to make room for the shot, but it doesn't call his way. Stolen away by Will Smith. Would have been a wonderful individual goal for him, balancing along the touchline, but not to be.
He's got such good feet, isn't he? He's a joy to watch at times. I mean, he might frustrate you if you're a manager or a head coach, because sometimes there's not end product, but great feet.
Morris picked this up, he'll shoot from the D, and he snuck in. And there is something in this second half for the home fans to cheer. Halifax Town getting themselves a second, and it's the substitute Kieran Morris scoring his first league goal of the season. He saved it for the last home game, and it reduces the deficit to 3 goals. Halifax Town 2, Southend United 5.
There you go. We all get carried away with Leon Parallon's quick feet. Did fantastic, danced his way into the penalty area. Gave the ball away, if you remember. Gave the ball away eventually. The counter-attack ends up in the back of your net. Cav Miley, quite rightly, having a little go at Leon Parallon. It's all about being in good habits, because there's consequences to things that happen. And unfortunately, on that occasion, Leon, although he did that, he could have picked a pass out. He didn't, because he was still trying to pirouette on the ball. The counter-attack, as they say, devastating. And it's a good finish from Morris. Cav Miley, quite rightly, having a few choice words with Leon. It's a learning curve for a young lad.
I mean, Leon Parallon said back in December he was grateful for the opportunities he's had at Southend United. You can listen to that interview on the club feed on BBC Sounds. Cav Miley, his message unequivocal: the playoffs are a bare minimum, which has been achieved. Will Harris trying to make room for shoot, and Halifax all of a sudden with a bit of momentum, they'll want to try and make it count as much as they can. Cody Johnson pushes this out to Hamami, his cross met by Harris, but can't guide his header towards goal, and there's a foul conceded in the build-up anyway, shoving the back of Taylor, and it is a free kick for Southend.
Yeah, again, it just lifts the opposition. The last thing you want to end up is a scruffy 5-3 or a 5-4, giving them the opportunities, but because you go a little bit sloppy again, and that's just lifted. The substitutes coming on have given them a little bit more energy again, haven't they, for Halifax? So Blues have just got to get back to their work again.
Well, a few of the boards rattling around us from the fans. So Southend with one more substitution they can make, and it looks like it'll be Charlie Kendall on for Andy Dallas.
Yeah.
Andy Dallas on the scoreboard from the penalty spot and giving an assist to Harry Cardwell in not the most stylish fashion, but they all count. Which put Southend 3-1 up at the break. 2 goals in the second half, one from Ollie Coker, one from Scott Morris. But there have been a response from Halifax Town through the substitute Kieran Morris. Make it 5-2, and here comes that change, Glenn.
Yeah, Charlie Kendall on for Andy Dallas. He's had one of those afternoons, Andy Dallas. If you analysed his performance, you'd look at it and say, wow, he's given the ball away a lot of the times, and it's broke down, moves have broken down on him a lot of the times, but goal scorers do. They get on the score sheet. He's got an assist for Harry Cardwell as well. So, how do you look at it? It's probably, in a striker's eyes, it's probably a good afternoon.
Goodliff's put the ball into the path for Kieran Morris. He's in again to shoot. His shot blocked by Joe Gubbins. And the space just opened up for Halifax down there. And Kieran Morris is a man inspired for the Shaman.
Yeah, just sloppy again from Blues. And they did this after going 1-0 up, didn't they? And now they seem to be having a period of sloppy play again.
Cross from the right wing, met by Southend's Gubbins at the near post. Parallon has to fire the ball away to no one else in yellow. It'll be Warburton to pick that up. I was going to say a loafed ball from one end to the other, but we haven't seen one of those yet from Warburton.
No. A loafed ball? What's a loafed ball?
Well, Warburton's bread.
Yeah, I know what Warburton's bread is, but
I think that is the personification of shooing it in.
You've crowbarred that in. Goodness, I think
very uncharacteristically.
Yeah, you could have looked for something different.
I'll leave the puns to you.
Oh, you've killed it now. Killed it.
Pun penny father. Well, I made up for the one you had at Aldershot.
Yeah.
Ollie Coker's still on the field. He's still got a chance to get a hat-trick for Southend. But it's Halifax with a bright spell to end this game, down 5-2 on their own turf. Morris trying to play the ball in from the right side of the penalty area, but blocked by Bridge. Infield to Warburton. He's edge of the penalty area. Finding Harris. It's crossing. Waters keeps this alive. It fell to Hamami in the penalty area, but he slipped as he took control of the ball and hooked away by Southend. Bray will keep this alive for Halifax, but Spazov is able to sneak in. A heavy touch away though, and it will be a throw in for Halifax midway through Southend territory on this near wing.
Yeah, good work. Bray just hurt himself stretching for that ball, but good work from Blues on that occasion. Both Harry Taylor and Slavy Spazov working hard to close the 17 down.
Feels very much like 6 players forward for Halifax at the moment as they try and close this gap as much as they can.
Yeah, Hamami hasn't come back for a while. Hamami, he's stayed quite high up the pitch.
6 minutes of additional time here on BBC Essex Sport live at the Shea. Turner cuts forward to Bray. Waters taking the ball away from a sliding Taylor, edge of the D into Warburton to shoot. Couple of deflections off the bottom of Austin's boot on the way to Ndengendi. Takes the sting out the shot, and it's easily picked up by the Southend keeper. He'll take his time, sending his players upfield for launching it himself. Aim towards Spazov. Won't win the header. Normally very physical Spazov, not many beat him in the air, but 6'5" Adam Aditoro had the better of him there. But Southend looked to drive through Gubbins into Parallon. Coker on his right. Little shirt drag from Johnson as Parallon was trying to get away, but referee's more interested in what's happening on the ball. Southend with that possession. Austin through to Spazov, wearing some bright red boots. And we have to work back to Taylor.
Not sure there's any advantage there. The referee's saying he's given advantage to Slavy. Slavy dragged down by Aditoro, and but he's halfway in the Halifax half, and the ball went all the way back halfway in the Blues half. Not sure where the advantage coming from that particular decision from the referee.
High ball from Goodliff straight to Johnson, the captain. A Golden Glove winner in the National League 2 times, did it in 2023 and 2024. 11 clean sheets this season. But Halifax with the ball through Bray, but Southend cut it out. It falls back to Coker. Austin will send this into the air. Of course, this all means as well, Glenn, Harry Boy's missing a league game for the first time this season as well.
Yeah, I think he would have been disappointed not to play, but apparently he did have a slight knock.
Cross whipped into the middle. Waters controls this back to Hamami. And there's again Warburton goes back to Cody Johnson, and groans from the home fans around us. They wanted him to take that on himself, the substitute. High ball into the penalty area, and Ndengendi easily collects that one, and it feels like the fizzle is gone from this Halifax Town momentum, Glenn.
Yeah, great shout from Colin. You could hear that from here. You know, we talk about communication from goalkeepers, but you could hear him scream as he's come through a forest of players to claim the ball.
Bridge finding space down the left wing on the far side. Southend looking to make it 6 at the Shaman. Parallon with an overlapping run behind Bridge, but not spotted. In field to Cav Miley. Brilliant to see him back out on the field.
Absolutely.
Wearing his long brown hair and his white boots. Forward to Kendall, but he's in an offside position. Got the better of Palmer, but in an offside position, and Halifax will restart from the offside. First of the game for Southend.
Yeah, I think that was Charlie Kendall's first touch as well, wasn't it? He's been on the pitch for a few minutes, made the run, but just strayed into that offside position as Blues just try and manage these last few minutes. They won't want to concede another goal.
Confident challenge from Sam Austin against Bray, but straight to Turner Cook, and Waters picks this up for Halifax down the left wing. Definitely into the penalty area for Harris on this near side. He has to turn and put the cross in, but Gubbins there for Southend. Spazov, excellent control with his back to the opposition goal. Into Sam Austin. Kendall trying to get there ahead of Aditoro, but confident from the substitute for the Shaman as he works back to the keeper.
No, he did really well, the centre half. It wasn't the easiest of balls to deal with in that channel, especially with Charlie Kendall bearing down on you, but he did very, very well.
Doing better than he did at Roots Hall. He was the man that picked up the red card in Southend's 3-0 win, which extended to about 105 minutes due to the injury to Noor Hussain.
Yeah.
Game where Andy Dallas, Scott Morris and Ben Goodliff got on the scoreboard. Ball down the wing for Halifax, played into the penalty area for Hamami, but Goodliff with the late interception. Balls to Cody Johnson. Halifax cross this in again, looking for Hamami. Harris is able to put a header edge of the 6-yard box, still not dealt with by Southend, and it's over the touchline. The shot from Waters, edge of the 6-yard box, hooked with the right boot, but blocked by Coker over the touchline, and a corner kick for the home side.
Yeah, 6 and 7's the Blues on that occasion when the cross come in, and eventually they scramble the ball clear after the strike from Billy Walters. Blues still under a little bit of pressure in these final minutes as all the noise coming away to our right hand side, opposite side of the pitch from the Blues fans.
Certainly enjoying themselves, the Southend fans. Corner kick from the far wing for Halifax. It's a deep one. Palmer trying to get onto it, but Taylor able to put it over the line, and it's another corner kick. We've played 5 of the 6 additional minutes. Halifax 2, Southend 5. Harrogate against Colchester United to come on all frequencies on BBC Essex Sport, plus updates from Maldon and Tiptree v Galston and Isthmian North, and Great Wakering Rovers v Little Oakley in the Essex Senior League. And we'll keep across the action at Cressing Road as Braintree Town host Rochdale in the 5:30, one of 2 5:30 kickoffs in the National League. Turner Cook with the corner, attempted flick by Harris, and Southend able to pick that up through Charlie Kendall. Wants to accelerate away from Cody Johnson, which he will. It's a good challenge though, although Southend can get on the counter. Charlie Kendall continues to carry the ball forward and get this edge of the D now. Bridge inside the penalty area to the right of the spots. Back to Coker, encouraged to shoot by some of the Southend fans knowing he's on the hat-trick, but went out to Bridge instead. Now Austin, clever run from Taylor, creates the room for Bridge, drills it into the middle, it's under the far post, and it's Leon Parallon to put the cherry on top for Southend United. His first goal since January, his first league goal since October, and Southend United score 6 goals on the road in the league for the first time in years. 43 years, full-time whistle has gone, and it finishes in style for Southend United. Halifax 2, Southend United 6.
Well, I'll tell you what, that wasn't an easy finish, because Blues counter-attack, you have to give a lot of credit to Charlie Kendall. I thought Charlie Kendall thought, well, we're running out of time here, I'm just going to try and burst past everybody with a bit of pace. He got a little bit lucky on the halfway line where he had a challenge, but the ball fell into his path. He carried on his run all the way to the edge of the box, played it to this right-hand side for Jack Bridge. There was a little interchange of play. Eventually, Jack Bridge gets free and he whips the ball across with pace across the 6-yard line, and Leon Parallon has come from nowhere, sliding in, and it is a fantastic finish with his left foot into the roof of the net at the far post to give Blues their 6th goal. Probably fully deserved in the end. I think they had a couple of sloppy passages of play, certainly after the first goal where Halifax got back into the game, and they had one when the second goal came as well, when it all got a bit lackadaisical. But other than that, it's another strong performance from Blues, and 6 goals to boot, and another 3 points, and moves them a place up the table, Warren.
It certainly does. They are now in 6th place 78 points ahead of Forest Green Rovers on goal difference as well. The Southend United's biggest away win in the league in their history, joint biggest, alongside that 6-1 win against Scunthorpe United in Division 3 in 1983. Glenn Pennyfather, thank you very much. We'll be back on the road at Hartlepool United on Tuesday. Build up to come for Colchester United's trip to Harrogate Town. A sensational 6 for Southend United, leaving wonders in West Yorkshire as the Blues fans bask in the sunshine and the glow. With 2 games to go, they're looking up and climbing up the National League table. Full time at the Shea. FC Halifax Town 2, Southend United 6.
The home of Essex Sport.
On BBC Sounds.
Aiming for Scott Morris to get there. He's got a toe onto it and he'll head in. And Southend United have found the back of the net.
Throughout the football season, BBC Essex brings you commentary of every Colchester and Southend game. And now you can get all the latest news, insight and analysis on BBC Sounds. Search Colchester United or Southend United and click subscribe.
Feels like we're nearly men at the moment. Every time we get close, then we just don't quite execute. And I think that's why it feels so painful right now.
The home of Essex Sport.
On BBC Sounds. BBC Essex Sport.
29 minutes past 2, Victoria Polly with you on BBC Essex Sport, where we've already had our first commentary of the game. Southend United 6-2 winners at Halifax in the National League. We'll head back to the Shea, get some thoughts from Glenn Pennyfather, and we'll have some reaction from the Southend United camp on the programme. We'll build up to Colchester United at Harrogate in League 2 shortly, but let's check in on the cricket. Day 2 of Essex's County Championship match at Warwickshire, because we have had a wicket, Don Topley.
Not just 1 wicket, 2 wickets, Victoria. Luke Benkenstein, the emergency number 3, has come in and gone out. He's literally just got out. 19 for 2 now, Essex, in reply to Warwickshire's 190. Benkenstein has been got out. He nicked it through to the keeper, Davis, off the bowling of Parker. Barker's bowled quite nicely. He's bowled 1 for 10, and Ethan Bamber's got a wicket as well. That of Dean Elgar, who was very well caught low down at second slip off the bowling of Bamber. Essex in a spot of trouble here, 19 for 2.
Thank you very much, Don. Commentary continues on the BBC Sport website and at the Essex women in a spot of bother as well at Chelmsford, having posted 147 in their 50 overs against Warwickshire. Warwickshire are 61 for 1, chasing down that total. So it did seem a slender target for them to try and defend against a Warwickshire side who have started the season strongly. Essex have lost their opening 2 matches of the One Day Cup so far. Continue to keep updates and tabs on that for you here on BBC Essex Sport. Get around the grounds shortly as well for you.
BBC Essex Sport.
Good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us here on BBC Essex Sport. An extended show for you this Saturday, and we've already had plenty of goals. Southend United 6-2 winners in the National League.
Bridge across to Coker outside the penalty area, room to shoot, right footed. 1-0 Southend United. Give Ollie Coker room. He'll shoot and he'll score. First time on the road since December, and it was an absolute beauty into the bottom left corner. 6 minutes in, Halifax Town 0, Southend United 1. Andy Dallas giving the ball away, Hamami intercepting, and Johnson has found a way through to Will Harris shooting outside the penalty area, and Halifax respond. Huge gaping spaces in the Southend defence, and Will Harris scores his 22nd goal of the season, confidently put past Damon D into the bottom left corner first time, and we're all square after 20 minutes. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 1. Ball might still fall to Dallas. He's gone down in the penalty area, and the referee has pointed to the penalty spot. Dallas stepping up right footed down the middle, 2-1 to Southend United. Dallas confident as he strode up to place it down the middle, and Southend get themselves back in front again. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 2. Ball found its way to Andy Dallas in the penalty area. Will he play it across to Cardwell? Yes, he will! Just like that, Southend moved the ball from one end of the pitch to the other, and the attacking duo find their mojo for Harry Gardwell to score his first goal since mid-January. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 3. Halifax haven't cleared it away. It'll fall to Coker, 4-1 to Southend. And it was a gift from Halifax Town. Confusion at the back. But Ollie Coker pounced a drive first time into the bottom right corner to score his second goal of the game. FC Halifax Town 1, Southend United 4. Coker to take this corner kick. And it's sort of